everybody. The show starts in a very few short minutes. Make sure you hit the thumbs up because YouTube really cares, even if your boy does not. I wish I was Greg, but I'm not going to be there this weekend. We were just in Clemson a couple weeks ago for the Miami game. I'm assuming you're going to be there. Oh, there you go. He's going to be there. Enough of this. Enough of the music. You guys ready to go ahead and get this thing started? The playoff ranking show is about to start, and so we'll start with that before we get into the ACC show. So let's get it going.
After 5 years at Clemson, if I've only got 35 wins, there's going to be a new coach here. And you know what? There should be, because there's a different standard. And so he's exactly right. They ain't Alabama, they ain't LSU, and they're certainly not Clemson. And, that's why Carolina's in Chapel Hill and USC's in California. And the university in this state always has been, always will be Clemson. And it's right here in Clemson, South Carolina. So you can print that, tweet that.
Do you know what independence looks like, bro? You're staring at it.
Hey, hello, everybody. Welcome to the ACC show with me and your boy Sea-Dog. I don't know why Sea-Dog's not on the screen right now. He must have dropped out. There he is.
I did drop out. Yeah, I dropped out.
All right. You all right, buddy?
No, I'm sick.
Oh, damn. You sound terrible.
I feel terrible.
Dude, do you want to do the show? I don't feel like you have to do the show if you're sick. You should have texted me or something.
I might switch to my phone and go lay down or something. But
yeah,
I can hang out. I mean, it's just talking.
Yeah,
it's not gonna make me feel any worse or any better.
Well, you're a trooper for showing up.
Yeah,
I appreciate that.
It's been pretty miserable. And of course, it's like during this time when there's 100 freaking breaking news, and I should be making videos on it. I'm boned.
Yeah, I was wondering where you were at with those, because that's one of the main things going on in the ACC right now is the the Georgia Tech coaching search, and it looks like Brent Key is going to be looks like he's going to be your guy. That's the rumor anyway.
Yeah, and I need to make at least 2 videos. I should have been making videos because it's been a pretty crazy stretch here, but it fell apart. I got sick last week and I'm still not like better, and it got crazy with Thanksgiving, so I wanted to make all these like videos last week about like rivalry week, and like I wanted to do that dance party that I was talking about.
Yeah. You think you got sick because you had a super spreader event with your Friendsgiving? Uh-oh, he's frozen. This man had Friendsgiving last weekend. Sounds like a germ-spreading event to me. I don't know what's going on with Sea-Dog here. He's sick, and so is his computer, I guess. I don't know. But I'm just going to keep this on the screen because this is a good look right here. We'll see if he comes back, but in the meantime, hey, there he is.
I'm here. God dang. I'm sorry.
Yeah. You're all right. You're a hot mess today, aren't you, man?
Yeah, dude, my internet is ridiculous.
Anyway, we're gonna take a look at the CFP rankings live here on the air, and then we'll get into the show. Of course, if you guys are new here, make sure you hit the thumbs up and subscribe button. We do this ACC show year round. During basketball season, me and Sea-Dog are not basketball people, okay? So, but we do have some people here that are, and talk about it a little bit every week, and educate me and Sea-Dog on what's going on, because we just don't know. But we do the show year round. So if you're new here, make sure you hit the thumbs up. Yeah. So Brent.
Peete,
yeah.
It's clear to me that I'm working now, so I'm going to go ahead and switch to my phone.
Okay. Yeah. That's fine because I can't really understand you. You're breaking up. All right. Go ahead, my friend.
Yeah. Sorry.
All right. Just if you want to get back in the StreamYard on your phone, I'll
let me in whenever I pop in.
Yeah. Gotcha. Well, here's what I'll do in the meantime.
This is a load of barnacles.
In the meantime, I'll switch to my screen here, full screen. In the meantime, let's see who's in the chat before this thing starts. Appreciate you all being here. Matt Dummett's here. Kevron Harris, Ballard Sports Media. Greg Hall says good evening. Anthony Soley. Luke Walker, heels by 100. Well, you're not that big of an underdog. Now, I saw last night, it was, 7.5 points or something. Josh Hopel. Ultra Maga Dog. Alakazam. Dog Behind Enemy Lines. Rob Dog. Nate the Great. Rack Dog, John Serene. Can't be many surprises left from the committee. Yeah, I think they got a pretty easy job this week. And I think they'll have a pretty easy job selecting the top 4 coming this Sunday as well. We always talk about, things will usually work themselves out towards the end of the season, and that's really been true for most years. And it looks like it's probably going to be true for this year, too. I think it's pretty cut and dry. We'll talk about it in a second. Looks like the ranking show is coming on right now. BB and Colby. Sea-Dog's been sick for a week or so now. Well, he wasn't sick last week when we did the ACC show, so it must have been after that. The Uncle Lou. Georgia Tech interviewed 12 people and nobody wanted the job. God dang, is that true? Mrs. Pete's here. ACC football flu. Slim Shady Canes. Zona Tucson. Anthony Guess. How much longer before what? I'm just waiting. I'm running. Oh, here we go. So here we go. 25 NC State. Hey, NC State moves their way back into the top 25 with their win over North Carolina. Everyone was bitching about them being at 25 the week before, and they moved back in. 24 Mississippi State, 23 North Carolina, 22 UCF, 21 Notre Dame. Man, Notre Dame fell 6 spots with their loss to Southern Cal. That's kind of shocking, honestly. I mean, considering the fact that Southern Cal's a playoff team in that,
Playoff team in that. Playoff team in that.
I didn't think they would drop that much. All right, here's the top 20. Texas at 20. South Carolina goes from unranked to 19th. 8-4. Tulane 18. UCLA 17 and Oregon 16. Yeah, Sea-Dog doesn't feel well. You know what I mean?
I don't feel well.
He doesn't feel well. Anybody got any? The top 5, I think, is pretty solidified. Probably the top 6 is solidified. It's going to be Georgia, Michigan. I just said solidified. Now I can remember who it is. Georgia, Michigan. Hold on. The Beavs, Oregon State coming in at 15. LSU 14. They dropped 9 spots with their loss to Texas A&M. I guess that's warranted. Texas A&M was what, a 3-win team? Florida State 13. Washington 12. Utah 11. So my guess was that Clemson, they were at 8 last week. I thought they would drop probably 2 spots to 10. It's a 1-point loss. And so if they'd have lost by a couple touchdowns, they probably would have dropped like a lot. But they'll probably be at 10, I think. Michigan might be 1. I don't know. I have the volume turned down on my TV, so I can't hear what they're saying. I'm just waiting for the rankings to come up here. Yeah. So anyway, Georgia 1, I think. Michigan 2, TCU 3, USC 4, Ohio State 5, probably Alabama 6. Look, 7 through 10 is a little bit more tricky. Look at that. Kansas State 10. Damn, Clemson only dropped 1 spot. I'm assuming they're going to be at 9. And where else would they be? I'd be shocked if they didn't even drop a spot after losing to an unranked South Carolina at home. Ohio State 4. No, Ohio State will probably be at 5. USC will probably be at 4. Clemson 9, so they dropped 1 spot. Slim Shady Canes, thank you for the super chat. Can we get a South Carolina versus Oregon State? And look, in the Innuendo Bowl. Yes, the Bees versus the Cocks. We need to see that. I might need to write my senator and ask for that. Sup, Island Pete? Carolina Jackpot called you out. That dude is a mess. He called me out. What does that mean? I need more information. I know that. Look, man, the Gamecock fans, they win 1 game by 1 point for the first time in 8 years, and they don't know how to win. Penn State 8. The bowl projections I saw, assuming, and that's a big assumption, that Clemson takes care of business and beats North Carolina this weekend in Charlotte. One of the bowl projections I saw was Clemson versus Penn State in the Orange Bowl. The other one I saw was Clemson versus Tennessee in the Orange Bowl. I'll take either one. I'd probably rather play Tennessee I think it'd be more fun. At least as far as YouTube's concerned, going back and forth with the Tennessee folk. Leading up to that game will be a lot of fun. Honestly, I just don't see very many Penn State fans on the internet. I'm not saying they're not there. They're just not here. Jackpot said you got 363 more days. Till what? What, till they lose again? Yeah, he's right. He's right about that. I do too, Nick. I want to see Clemson and Tennessee. But listen, Clemson has to win this week, which we know week in and week out isn't a given. So Tennessee 7 moved up 3 spots with their big win over Vanderbilt. Which obviously any win over Vanderbilt's not big, but they beat them by a lot. So we know how the rest of this is going to go, don't we? I guess the only argument is going to be, will Michigan jump Georgia, and who's going to be at 5 and 6, Alabama and Ohio State? I don't know. I don't think that. I know Michigan had a dominant win against a highly ranked team in Ohio State at their place. Georgia had a dominant win too over a bad team, but nonetheless, I don't think it's enough for them to get jumped. And people say that it doesn't matter. Well, it kind of does matter at this point in the season because, who you play in the first round if you're one of these playoff teams does matter. Yeah, exactly, Casey. Yeah, I think Georgia will remain 1. Let's see here. Number 6 coming up. I think it's going to be Alabama. Hey, Alabama at number 6. Yes. So we know the rest, right? Ohio State 5. Robert Fogel, thank you for the super chat. We really appreciate it. Here's for Clemson always. What's up, Pete? Yes, sir. Go Tigers. I appreciate you. Yeah, I'll get to that in a minute, Danny. Let me see if Sea-Dog's back in here. Left my man hanging.
Yeah, no kidding. Jeez, I've been sitting here forever.
Yeah, I'm sorry.
I thought you'd never let me in.
Yeah.
It's okay.
There you go. 5, Ohio State. 4 is going to be Southern Cal. Of course, they're going to go 1 through 4 now. I don't know why Alabama fans would think that they're in the hunt still. I just don't understand why they would even think that. Yeah, 4 Southern Cal. Like I said, this has been pretty predictable. I mean, this is not that hard to figure out. 3 TCU. I'll tell you what I'd like to see. I want to see Southern Cal and Georgia play.
I think the 4th spot will either go to Southern Cal or TCU. Or not TCU, I'm sorry. Southern Cal or...
Well, Southern Cal's already been locked in at 4. Michigan 2. So there you go. There you go. You have Georgia 1, Michigan 2, TCU 3, Southern Cal 4, Ohio State 5, Alabama 6. That's your top 6. And there's really no scenario that I could think of that would play out where Alabama could get in. Ohio State could possibly backdoor their way in there.
If USC loses.
If USC loses. Possibly, maybe if TCU loses, but I don't know about that. I think TCU would have to get blown out by Kansas State for Ohio State to jump them. Otherwise, TCU gets in even if they lose.
Yeah.
And that's pretty much it. They're going to get in no matter what, and Georgia's going to get in no matter what. So, there you go. No surprise. That's right. Yeah, TCU already beat Kansas State, but that game came down to the very last play. Kansas State's a good team. And you know the old adage, it's hard to beat the same team twice in the same year. Yeah. It's also hard to go 12-0, but TCU did that. So
TCU only beat them because they had both their quarterbacks hurt.
Yeah.
In that game. So this is going to be, they're going to really have to step it up because they would have lost this game. And in my opinion, I think TCU would be able to overcome a regular season loss better than a Big 12 championship loss.
Mm-hmm.
So I would Well, I guess we'll talk about it because we did. We're gonna do a championship graphic this week.
Oh,
Yeah. Graphics guy should have emailed you both of those graphics.
yeah. Graphics guy didn't send me anything. I was just checking before the show started.
That is cap. The graphics guy is always on time and always gets the.
So what you're telling me is it's there now?
Yes.
Oh, well, shit. All right. While I'm putting these graphics up real quick, then, do you want to go ahead and give the people your thoughts on the Georgia Tech coach situation with? So, I mean, it looks like Brent Key is the guy, right? I mean, all the reports are saying that they're just trying to finalize the deal and that he will be named the head coach within the next 24 hours. Now, I don't know if that's true or not. You might know more than I do.
Yeah. Look, I think I'm planning on making this a video too, but I think our new athletic director from Alabama, Jay Batt, I think he's screwed up the search, honestly. Coming out of the season, of the realistic choices, my top two were Chadwell and Brent Key. So
yeah, you really wanted Jamie Chadwell from Coastal Carolina. That was your personal favorite, right?
Yeah, and we had him. And so what happened was Jay Batt, our new athletic director, told Jamie Chadwell that he wouldn't be able to bring his entire offensive staff, which blows my mind. Why? Why would you not let him bring his entire offensive staff? I'm assuming. Okay, so he didn't want to hire Brent Key because he wanted a fresh start, right? And so I'm assuming that he didn't want Jamie Chadwell to bring his entire offensive staff because he wanted to keep Brent Key and wanted to reward him in some way for the good turnaround that we've had this season. So that cost him the Jamie Chadwell basically. Jamie Chadwell said, no, I'm not coming unless I can bring my entire staff. And he said no. So now he's going to South Florida. So
he's going to South Florida?
Yeah, he's going to South Florida.
Oh man.
Seems like a weird move.
That is a weird move. I don't understand that.
I don't either, but
seems like he went to a worse program.
Right. I guess South Florida probably has a better can give him more money.
Well, I'm sure that has something to do with it. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I thought that he could have made a jump to the Power 5 instead of going at the very least it's a lateral move.
Right.
And probably not even that.
South Florida probably is looking to get into the Power 5. They've just been so terrible. But, anyway, he screwed that up and lost Jamie Chadwell because of that. So I'm actually pretty irate, and I would have made a video freaking out about it, but I don't know. I just feel like crap, and I don't have the energy to carry on and holler and everything like I usually do.
Well,
so that cost us Jamie Chadwell. And as for Willie Fritz, Willie Fritz wanted the job. It's just that he wanted to coach his team on championship weekend, so they didn't make it final,
Yeah.
But then the boosters, the Tech boosters, they didn't want Willie Fritz, and honestly, I'm okay with that. So they talked Jay Batt, and I'm fine with that. The dude's like 100 years old, so
yes, yeah. I was when I heard that Willie Fritz, I was like, I don't know about that.
It was. I mean, I swear, man, we were a cunt hair away from hiring him.
Yeah.
So we were this close to freaking hiring him, and I actually agree with the boosters on this one. They talked him out of it, so that was good. It's not that he didn't want the job. It's that our freaking AD screwed. And Jay Chadwell wanted the job too, but our freaking AD screwed him out of it. So, I don't know. I know Tech's not the best, in the best situation right now. But if I swear, dude, Brent Key took over in the middle of the season. Like, if you halfway know what you're doing, then you're gonna do well. So, I'm excited for Brent Key. I'm on the train now. I'm gonna need to see results. Like last year was a feel good story and everything, but I have faith he'll do good. I'm just not sure of his ceiling, if you know what I mean. But better than everybody. Like Dabo was interim and everything too, wasn't he?
Yeah. He wasn't even a coordinator. He was just a positions coach.
Yeah, we're seeing more of this kind of working out. Like people are laughing at us, like we settled for Brent Key, which honestly we did. He was low. Well, our athletic director did. Our fan base, a lot of our fan base, and our all our players wanted Brent Key, and so
that sounds similar to what happened at Clemson.
They don't. Yeah, they don't. It was though.
It was the players that really rallied to make Dabo the interim,
Right.
and Bowden himself. He put in a good word for Dabo, but
right. And so I'm that's great and everything, and I'm stoked. But I've been getting comments from like people making fun of like us settling for Brent Key, but it's like Brent Key's a good coach. Like I mean, I don't really care what you say. He went on the road and beat 2 top 25 teams this year, and he had to deal with like quarterback. I know he had this bad couple losses, but he had to deal with quarterback issues, like our starting quarterback going down in both of those games. So I mean, it's not like
Well, he has some more impressive wins this season than
Jeff Collins ever did.
Yeah, there you go.
Ever did. I mean, Jeff Collins' best win was North Carolina last year when they were 6-6.
Yeah.
Freaking Brent Key comes in and beats them when we have no quarterback. And like even when we didn't have quarterback, against all odds, he came in. His game planning is next level. Like he knows how to, like I mean his game plan coming into those, and the way he was able to kind of know the player's strengths and work around what we had and hadn't. And me, all the while, Jeff Sims wouldn't play, and now we see he was one of those silent quitters, which hurts me to say because I've been a huge Jeff Sims fan. Like,
yeah, I've seen rumblings of him like to Oregon.
Oregon, huh?
I heard. Just rumors. I don't know. None of this is legit. It's just
he was looking at LSU last year.
LSU.
And then he stayed. Because of some reason or another.
Yeah.
But he's been here 3 years and never played Georgia. What's up with that?
Yeah, that's crazy. Uncle Lou sent in a super chat. Interviewed 12 people, all said no.
Uncle Lou's a fucking idiot, drooling idiot Georgia fan. Don't listen to anything he says.
Well,
of course he's going to try to besmirch Georgia Tech in any way he can. No, Georgia Tech is not closing their program down or whatever other bullshit he says. Yes, it does matter who Georgia Tech hires.
Let me finish the super chat. Wait, listen, anybody that sends in a super chat, I'm gonna read it. So even if it makes you mad, Tech is too broke to pay enough guaranteed money, according to reports. Stuck with Key. No.
What is he talking about?
He's saying they interviewed 12 people, but they're too broke. So they stuck with Key.
Get the number 12 from?
I don't know if he means a literal 12 people or like just saying 12 isn't like a lot. I don't know. I'd like to see that list.
We've interviewed 2 that I know, and one of them we didn't want, and the other one, our athletic director screwed that one up. So don't friggin' listen to him. He doesn't know what he's talking. He's just talking shit.
Okay.
Elementary troll.
I don't know. He might have the same sources as Golden Blue Dude.
Yeah, freaking he read a swim article.
Swim.
Thinks he knows what he's talking about.
Oh.
I wouldn't expect anything less from him though. Whatever. But I mean, and did you see the first half? I mean, we'll talk about the game, but they had an impressive showing against Georgia. Some issues that need to be fixed over the offseason. But overall, I'm happy with the Brent Key hire. He was my second choice behind Chadwell. Hopefully he can get some of these players out of the portal. And I'm not talking about Jeff Sims because we all knew Jeff Sims was going to be leaving anyway. I don't even think he wanted to come back this year. But so
another team I saw for the Jeff Sims deal, Notre Dame.
Oh, really? Wow. Notre Dame could really use him because he can run.
Right, and
I don't know what that's like.
Notre Dame is very high on we're only gonna take players from top notch academic universities, this and that. So the reason I saw that was on Twitter was I follow a lot of Notre Dame people on there, and they want him. Well, I don't know if all of them want him, but there's certainly some of them do. The fans
want him because if he's able to be developed by somebody that knows what they're doing, he could be a really good quarterback. He looked really good until he got hurt this year. Like those games that we won against Pitt and Duke were because of him, and so God dang. But I'm hoping Brent Key can get some of these other players out of the portal, and I have to make a video on it too. I'll probably do it tomorrow. But Nate McCollum also went into the transfer portal, and he's our best receiver. So that one hurt more than Jeff Sims, really.
Yeah, maybe he can make his way to Clemson, South Carolina. That'd be nice.
Oh, God.
We need one of those.
I don't want to freaking have to play against somebody that would suck. He'll probably go to Alabama. I know he was good friends with Will Anderson, so he might go to Alabama.
Yeah.
I think he played high school ball with Will Anderson, but he was only a 3-star, but he freaking showed out this year, dude. He was crazy good. So, but I don't know. Hopefully Brent Key can keep some of these players from leaving. Otherwise, they all called for him. So if they start leaving, then what kind of bullshit would that be?
He's going to have to hit that portal because,
oh yeah, for sure.
They got to salvage whatever they can this year.
Yeah. We're losing some good seniors too. So
yeah,
I don't know. More to come. I'm going to be making videos talking about it as soon as I freaking start feeling better.
Well, according to Lou, it has been 12 people. He says just Google it.
Okay. Okay, he knows more than me. Okay.
What do you think about bringing the panel on? You ready for them?
Yeah, I'm ready for them.
All right. Damn, you sound terrible, dude.
I feel terrible.
Yeah.
I feel like hammered shit.
I would say you look like hammered shit, but I don't want to insult you.
Well, I'm sure I look like hammered shit, too.
Anyway, we got Slim Shady Canes, the incomparable Jordan Bowman, fellow Tater man, and North Carolina man, Luke Walker.
Luke.
We do have somebody who's non-ACC fan in here. I'll let him in for a minute, but you guys know the rules. It's Nate the Great. Nate, you're not an ACC man.
I'll make this a quick one.
Yes.
Ohio State is soft, and we own them. Michigan owns them right now, and we're their daddy. And nothing can compare to Ohio State to Michigan. Nothing, and they can even go suck their mom's dick.
Nate.
Whoa.
Okay.
Whoa, Nate.
Nate, calm down. They're already.
Whoa, man.
Good morning.
Jeez. Damn.
I love it. I
Nate,
love
put them in a casket.
Tell him,
He pulled a Lamar
going on?
Jackson.
Put them in a casket.
Now, Sea-Dog, it is nice to see you channeling your inner Chess Hall during this stream.
I'm sorry, man. I'm sick. I said my freaking.
Hey, speaking of Nate McCullum, by the way, I have heard rumors of him coming to a certain ACC coastal
Fuck
school.
off, dude. Why would he go to a worse school?
It's not a worse school.
Pretty sure you are. But okay.
They're not.
North Carolina. Why would he go there, dude? It's unbelievable.
I mean, that depends on your definition of worse. I mean,
We're a better academic school and a better football program. So
Wow, you really want?
Yeah,
You're not.
yeah, but how many space shuttles has North Carolina blown up?
ooh,
Yeah,
0.
Exactly.
Yeah, how many crumbling
Players
bridges?
don't even take classes, so I don't want to hear about better academics.
How many crumbling bridges has North Carolina built?
Yeah.
Our highway system is better than Atlanta's.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
I don't know. Have you seen Raleigh?
Well, that's because it's
That's
Raleigh.
because the population is expanding faster than we can build roads.
Right.
Yeah.
Not because we don't know how to build roads.
Somebody,
Nate McCollum go there, dude.
somebody wanted to know what did I think about Ohio
He wants
State.
to play with the best quarterback in the country. That's why.
I don't know. We made him look like damn Jarrett Garantano. So, if he wants a piece of that, then by all means.
I was actually hoping somebody else would show up because apparently I triggered a Pitt fan.
Oh, really?
Who?
Talk is
The only
Pitt.
Pitt fan we know.
Oh, yeah. Well, okay. What happened with him?
You should have said the Pitt fan.
The
Oh, I guess he watched that ACC show where I said he's being a whiny bitch, and he come at me this morning being a whiny bitch. So he kind of proved my point.
Oh, yeah.
Well, you said he was being a bitch after he got shot at.
No, somebody that was 50 feet away from him got shot at. I had a gun put to my head, so cry me a fucking river.
Well, we need to get Talkers Pitt on here to settle this at once.
Yeah, well.
A duel at dawn, sir.
Well, different people deal with, that stuff in different ways. So
Well, I did notice that
hard on them.
Sea-Dog did not send me a graphic from last week, and I think the reason is he did not want to put an X over Georgia Tech next to Georgia's.
That's not true.
Oh.
Did it not send?
Well, you sent me one.
The championship.
The championship one I have, yeah.
That's right. Yeah.
Those are the only two teams that matter this week.
Oh, you know what? You sent two separate ones. You usually send them in the same one.
Well, I was still making the graphics guy was still computing
Okay.
the first one. Oh, you made me get up.
No, just lay down, dude. Don't kill yourself.
A fucking headache. I got a terrible headache.
How long have you been this sick?
I started getting sick Friday.
Hey.
So hopefully it's on the tail end. Usually it lasts about a week.
I mean, that's what happens when you host a super spreader event.
Yeah. Well, that was 2 weeks ago.
It could have been your friend's cooking. Did you think
Or a
about
week.
that?
It's not food poisoning, no.
Dude,
Yeah.
food poisoning's terrible. I've had that.
Food poisoning is awful. This ain't it. I was puking and shitting, and I couldn't decide to sit on the toilet or puke into it, and it was terrible.
You're on the toilet with the trash can in front of you.
Yeah.
Right?
I might have given myself food poisoning today, though, because I cooked my steaks a little too rare. So I don't know.
Well, as long as it doesn't have mad cow, you're okay.
Yeah.
You eat rare beef.
Yeah, just don't eat rare chicken.
Right.
You're right.
We don't eat well done around here, boy. We don't fucking play that shit. We our steaks rare.
Well, I'm with you there, sir.
Glad to hear you don't eat charcoal.
All right. So let's go ahead and jump into it here. We'll get through last week's. I'm sure there's a lot to talk about as far as the championship games go.
Yeah.
We'll start off with Luke's game. NC State at North Carolina. Luke.
What happened?
Oh, my God.
Dude, the end of that game was awesome. I ain't even gonna lie.
I disagree, but sure.
Well, I mean, as a neutral third party.
Yeah.
Our kicker missed a 27-yard field goal and a 35-yard field goal.
Oh, man. I can't relate. Gavin Stewart is automatic, so I can't relate to that.
Who's got a worse kicker, Florida State or North Carolina?
And then Dave Doran went and celebrated like he won the Super Bowl, taking victory laps. Congrats on your 8-win season, NC State.
Yeah, did he have the red Solo Cup and the cigar deal?
Yeah, they danced in the locker room. They recorded TikToks.
Yeah.
They tried to plant a flag in a turf field.
It's funny to me. They tried to plant a flag in the turf. It's funny to me how much shit you guys talk about NC State and South Carolina. Got beat by them both, but I guess I'm in the same boat, aren't I?
Yeah, you are.
Well, you guys should have won, so I don't want to hear it. I don't want to hear it. What happened? Tell us. Tell us what happened, Luke.
I mean, the offense played terrible.
Drake May's worst game of the season by a long shot.
I think what really happened was that Georgia Tech.
I mean, the first 3 quarters were terrible. He played really well in the fourth quarter. He finally found it. I think he
How many
threw for like
picks did he
100.
throw in this game?
He threw one pick, but it was a ridiculous play by the DB. It was some crazy one-handed interception. You can't really blame that on him.
He threw 2 or 3 picks against Miami.
Yeah, that's like 80% of his season interception total. But he threw for like 110 yards in the first 3 quarters and threw for 140 in the fourth. So I think he's found it again. And hopefully that means he's about to go crazy on Clemson.
Well,
you've got it being Clemson, I think. Still, both of this freaking. I guess we'll talk about that, but
And I had lost hope, and then Clemson went and lost to South Carolina.
Man,
That's a perfect segue into our next game.
Wait, we got to talk about the Florida State game still, though, right?
that's coming up next. Yeah.
No, fuck Florida State.
Well, anyway, so NC State, North Carolina rather, crapped the bed and allowed Donut Dave, to go out on top against their in-state rival.
NC State's an agriculture school. They talk about our players not going to class. They can't tell the difference between turf and grass.
That is funny that they tried to plant a flag on the turf.
They also waited till all our players had left the field before they actually went and did it.
That's funny.
I saw that too. But they did whip your ass on that fake turf, though.
Yeah, they did.
So
I mean, is double overtime really whipping somebody's ass?
I guess not. But they're not. But North Carolina's a better team.
We are.
Yeah.
Yeah, and let's be honest, you lost a rivalry game. You got your ass whooped. Really doesn't matter the score in a rivalry game.
Yeah.
And I think we figured out how to beat Carolina, though, is start a third-string quarterback.
Apparently. See, you got lucky. Tyler Van Dyke hadn't got hurt then.
Yeah.
Another couple of games, and Ja'Cory Brown would have been in there, and we'd have had you.
Yeah, we haven't lost to a starting quarterback this year. So, DJ, you're in trouble.
Yeah, well, we'll talk about that in a minute.
9-0 against starters, 0-3 against backups.
All right, moving on. So North Carolina and obviously Clemson meet in the ACC championship this week.
This game's lost a lot.
Both teams lost their rivalry week games, but it didn't matter. They were both solidified to go to Charlotte before that game even happened. Florida and Florida State. Florida State now with the wins over both Miami and Florida. So I guess you could say Florida State is the best team in the state of Florida right now. I know that. This game was actually pretty competitive, and I thought it was. I didn't think it was going to be close.
This game was hugely entertaining.
Yeah, it was.
It was. I watched that whole game. That was a good game.
Yeah.
Anthony Richardson out there throwing 40-yard bombs to wide-open receivers.
Mm-hmm.
Hey, Jordan Travis, second best quarterback in the ACC.
He's pretty.
Travis was doing most of it with his feet. I mean, it was like a polar opposite of what you thought it would be.
Right.
I hope Florida State gets a decent bowl game.
They're going to get, what, the third bowl game of the ACC?
We were looking at the projections last night on the Lunch Money Show. I think one of the projections we saw was Tulane and Florida State. I was like, I don't want to see that.
Those projections made no sense.
No, I want to see, how about like Notre Dame and Florida State? That'd be good.
That'd be great.
And whoever picks these bowl games, if they fire that motherfucker, bowl season would be a whole lot better. Like I said earlier, can we not get South Carolina against Oregon State?
Yeah.
Give the people what they asked for.
Yeah, I'm going to write.
Get rid of conference affiliation with the bowl games. That's the problem.
That sounds like a great idea.
Yeah.
Yeah, and most of those New Year's Six bowl games were terrible on the projection you looked at.
I would love to see Clemson versus Tennessee, though. That'd be awesome.
Yeah, me too.
It's like Tulane versus Penn State.
Yeah, that would be. Well, Penn State, I don't know.
You know what would be funny? Clemson loses to North Carolina, gets demoted to the Cheez-It Bowl, and faces South Carolina again. Rematch.
My only problem with the New Year's Six at this point is, most of them you end up with so many opt-outs that it makes the game terrible no matter the matchup.
That's the higher tier ones, though. The New Year's Six, yeah. The lower tier ones are usually more entertaining. The mid tier, I should say.
Yeah, the Idaho Potato Bowl is always great.
Okay, mid tier.
Oh, we can get ready for those dumbass commercials where they can't find the potato truck. I hate those commercials.
Oh my god. Yeah.
Does anybody think that Dr. Pepper Fansville commercials are funny?
No,
I hate them things.
they're not. No, they're not funny.
They've
My
got
wife
old.
thinks they're funny, and I keep getting onto her for it. I'm like, stop!
Like,
It's not funny.
I have no hate for Alabama, but I want to sock Bryce Young right in the mouth because I am so sick of seeing that commercial.
Funnyville. I know it's terrible.
Ugh.
I can't stand them things.
All right, so moving on. Sorry, I had to do it to you. I know you're sick and everything. You feel bad enough already, but of course, Georgia Tech falls to Georgia.
Yeah, I mean, it is what it is. We played really. I mean, hey, we played really freaking kick ass for a while there, and
We had it for a half, yeah.
yeah, for a half, which nobody saw coming. But it's funny to me. It's just funny because Georgia last year they freaking beat us 45-0. It was never close. It was no problem. So I'm trying to figure out what happened to these dominant, amazing freaking team.
Now, Georgia only beat Georgia Tech by one more point than we did, so Transitive Property says Georgia's only a point better than Miami.
I absolutely disagree. Miami would kick Georgia's ass. It would.
Well, I didn't want to. It would have been biased if I said it, C-Dog.
Hey, Georgia doesn't
I'll
play as
say
much
it.
competition as Miami. That's why their record's so much better.
But
Yeah.
for the outcome that we had, for us to not even have, we didn't have our either our first or second string quarterbacks. It's
Hey,
pretty
he's the first string
embarrassing.
quarterback now. Jeff Sims is gone.
Okay, we didn't have our first string quarterback then. Whatever.
I would like-
Did Georgia Tech need to get a transfer quarterback?
Yeah,
What? Yeah.
Boomachan, Tater Man.
They can have DJ.
Pumachan scored.
Yeah,
on the right.
hey,
Georgia Tech?
Tater Man
Georgia
scored.
Tech.
Tater Man scored on the Bulldog man.
He freaking, dude. Yeah, you should watch the very first drive of the game is when we scored. We converted on like 4th and 19, and then Puma ran in for a touchdown like wide open. It was the easiest drive anyone's ever scored on Georgia this year in the
It's
first.
hilarious that Pumachan threw a pick in his third drive against Carolina, and they haven't let him throw the ball since.
Never let him throw the ball.
Jeez.
They bring him in just to run it, like he keeps it every time. But it's funny because he's not really that fast.
No, he's not.
No, he's not.
I don't know what's going on. Maybe they put him at running back next year. I don't know.
What's with Clemson and recruiting these slow-running quarterbacks?
Is Gibson super slow? Because there were times where he looked like he should have run the ball, and he just didn't against Carolina.
Gibson has no. Yeah, Gibson. Look, these are 3rd and 4th string quarterbacks. Okay, let's not get it twisted. You can say Jeff Sims is gone, but he was our starter coming into the year, and Zach Pyron is better than both of them. But Zach Gibson, he's pretty gifted with his throwing ability, but he has no pocket awareness and folds like a freaking lawn chair under pressure. Any amount of pressure, and he doesn't know how to throw the ball away, and he'll just fall down into the fetal position and take like a 15-yard sack every time. So that's why
he went out of bounds against
right. That's why he's
Virginia.
thirsty. I was watching him. I was at the Virginia game, and I literally watched him go into the fetal position on the 1-yard line. I'm like, God, dude. It was right in
Don't
front.
hit me!
I'm like, geez, man. So he's just not a starting quarterback.
Justin,
Now, C-Dog, I've got a question, and I want you to take your fan glasses off for a minute.
Uh-huh.
Would Georgia Tech beat North Dakota State?
I mean, I don't know how good they are, but yeah. Yeah. What are they?
Put some respect on Georgia Tech's name. They're a nice mediocre team this year.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, you can laugh all you want. I know we lost a bunch of games and everything, but
Well, I mean, they're like 6-time reigning D2 champs.
I know
something
that.
like that.
Yes, I'm sure we could beat them. I'm sure. Okay. It's like it's just the quarterback issues that we've had this year. I mean, you lose your starting 2 quarterbacks, and there's not much else.
Can you guys fire that defensive coordinator, by the way? I don't want him facing Carolina ever again.
Oh, that's your daddy, man. He's not going anywhere, especially with Brent.
C-Dog, if you look at that team and say quarterback is your only issue, I'm going to need you to rethink your life.
offensive line too. And Zach Gibson would be a great quarterback if we had an offensive line that could block for him, but we don't. So
hey, real quick, Justin.
Defense has played great. I have no.
Bruh, Miami put 35 on your defense.
Listen, there's something you need to understand.
That wasn't all offense, though.
There's something you need to understand. Yes, it wasn't all offense, and
one was a pick six.
A lot of that's garbage time, dude.
That was also one game.
We gave up
Georgia Tech's defense has been pretty good on the whole.
Yes, it has. When our offense plays well, if the game starts getting out of hand, yes, they will give up a bunch of. But that's garbage time. And garbage time, they suck.
Well, and I do get that because that's been some of the problem with Miami's defense this year has been the lack of production out of the offense.
And Brent Key, one of the things that I like about him is that in critical situations, he would elect to go for it, whereas Collins would punt. So say it's a close game in the fourth quarter and we're in our own territory and it's fourth down. Key will go for it, even if it means getting blown out, if it means giving us a chance. Jeff Collins will punt it away and lose by a smaller amount. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
What a coward.
So I like Brick. I like
does that crap in the first
and that happened in the Georgia game too. We went for it on our own 20 with Zach Gibson at quarterback. It was like 4th and 12. Just because
I saw
that gave us the chance to win. So that's what he did. And if not, we get blown out. Oh, well, we were going to lose either way. So that's what happened in the Miami game and in the Georgia game. So
real quick,
he's an analytics guy. He's like, I'm going to do what increases my win probability, but at the risk of increasing.
And at that point, if you don't convert that, then you lose. And he realizes that. So that's kind of
no risk it, no biscuit.
Yeah, exactly.
Yep.
All right. So anyway,
Bruce Arians used to say.
Georgia Tech falls to Georgia like we all thought. Let's move on to the next one. This is a good intro into this one. South Carolina at Clemson in the Palmetto Bowl. Justin,
how about that muddle huddle?
Justin Rademacher in the chat says, "Hey, question, Pigskin Pete, are you going to take down your video on Dabo today?" No. Why would I? I mean,
I watched it. You didn't say anything wrong.
No.
Yeah, he's running scared.
He threatened to quit or something like that?
No, he does. He's not threatening to quit. He's posturing. That's what he does.
I mean, it does kind of prove like the Dabo haters a little bit right.
Well, the thing is,
that was a bitch move.
Yeah, he didn't even answer the guy's question. The guy asked him about, your passing offense is non-existent. Are you thinking about making staff changes? He automatically goes into talking about if you don't make the playoffs, then he didn't say anything about the playoffs.
Oh, also, by the way, are fan call-in shows with the head coach a common thing?
Yeah,
that's crazy.
Yeah,
I think every coach does it.
Matt Brown does not do a fan call-in show.
Oh, he doesn't?
I'm about to say, no Miami coach does a fan call-in.
No, I thought it was a pretty common thing.
Matt Brown has a radio show, but that is state television. The people you interviewing work for the university.
I mean, do you really think they would let? I mean, you've been around enough Miami fans. Would you let them call into a damn radio show and talk to the coach?
Hell no.
Yeah, probably.
I'd like to give Jeff Collins a piece of that.
And that's really, and that's a great point, Slim, because that's really kind of my point, is that nobody's calling into these Dabo call-in shows and really like roasting them or, being mean to them. And that question was a legitimate question. You know what I mean? It literally everybody is asking.
I mean, I don't think that's a legitimate question. I think it is silly talk to talk about firing somebody year one.
He didn't ask that. He said, with the way that the passing game has looked over the past 2 seasons, are you thinking about making staff changes? That is a totally legitimate question.
Yeah, it is. It is.
Yep.
Well, I mean, he did just make a staff change. He had to hire a new offensive coordinator.
Yep, the wrong one.
I think.
Well, that's to be
Because
determined.
you just made a staff change.
No,
Doesn't mean you
it's been
should make
determined.
another one.
Either way, look, here's the bottom line. Dabo Swinney is not new to this. He's not 30 years old. He's been there for 15 years. He should know how to answer that question without making himself look like a buffoon. And the way he answered that question is, we reevaluate every year, blah, blah, blah. We'll fix the changes. He really didn't even have to answer it directly. He could have answered it indirectly and moved on. But no, he went into some, long diatribe about how if the fans don't appreciate, 10 wins instead of 2 wins. And, I don't understand where he's coming from with that.
I mean, I agree with you about Dabo's response, but the question was kind of Miami fanish.
No, it wasn't. It was a legitimate question.
See, I disagree.
It's a question.
Did you see Clemson's passing offense last year? Have you seen it?
Slim, you do know it's not everybody on Clemson's staff's first year.
Right.
Not only that,
none of them are first year. None of them are first year like in the program. Brandon Streeter has been here since 2014.
Like, staff changes could just mean the wide receiver coach.
Yes, but if Brandon Streeter's never called plays before, it stands to reason that the first year is going to be rough.
he called the plays in the national championship game.
2 different spots before Clemson.
He called it in the national championship game against LSU because Tony Elliott had COVID.
Well, the national championship.
See, I didn't know that.
It was the Sugar Bowl against.
It's also the same.
Oh yeah, Sugar Bowl. Sorry,
so it's not like anything's really different.
And that was a pivotal performance too. And look, Slim, there's Clemson and Dabo Swinney, the fans and the coach, the head coach, because the fans take on the personality and the expectations of the head coach, think that we're an elite program. And so there's not a single elite program in this country that would settle for the offensive performance that we've seen the past 2 years. Not a single one of them.
Nope.
Yes, but to say it isn't exponentially better this year compared to last year, that's just being blind.
Yeah.
It obviously
exponentially might be pushing it. It's better.
Yeah, exponentially is pushing it, but it's definitely better.
Statistically, it's a little bit better.
Leading receiver have 500 yards.
Yes.
Wake Forest has 5.
And he's a freshman.
More than that.
Yeah.
And I've agreed with you during the season about some of the decisions that have been made, but like I said, maybe I'm looking at this from a different point of view because of all the shit that's gone down in Miami in the past 10 years. But like I said, it just came across as really Miami fanish.
Ain't nobody running him out, Justin. This is the thing, man. That's the thing. Literally nobody is calling for Dabo to be fired. Nobody.
No one. Yeah.
Not a single person. And so when you say, are you thinking about making staff changes? And his immediate response is, well, if you have a new head coach every year and, well, if I get fired, I got bosses. If I get fired, well, so be it. It's like nobody said you were getting fired, dude. Calm down.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's just, I don't know. It rubs me the wrong way. And I love Dabo Swinney. I really do. I wouldn't trade him for anybody, but this kind of shit is just, it's a bad look.
I'm biased. And I'll admit I'm biased because I've been yelling at Miami fans since Saturday on the internet because once again, they're trying to blow the whole damn thing up. And I'm like, you fucking morons. I can't with these people.
Well, it's a different situation. It's not apples to oranges. Clemson has been an established program with an established track record. I mean, a culture that's been set, and the performance on offense, given the talent on the roster and given, the standard that's been set at this program, it's not up to par. So asking questions like what changed it, and he didn't even mention anybody specifically. He didn't.
Right.
Didn't say are you going to fire Brandon Streeter or something?
Well, yes, but he did ask about staff changes, and like I said, because dealing with Miami, it immediately going to firing people to solve all your problems just sounds fucking dumb to me.
That changes does not necessarily equate to firing.
No, it doesn't. That's right. Yeah. Exactly.
Then what else is it?
Coaches shift responsibilities all the time,
right?
Without completely firing them. Are you going to do this? Are you going to move this person to a different position group? Are you going to demote this person? Are you going to elevate somebody else in a cove? There's a million different things you can do without firing. Well, somebody.
I mean, demotions go over as well at Clemson as they do everywhere else. People end up out the door.
Oh, okay, so be it. But you could tell this was a conditioned response because he was aggravated. He's been listening to the same question over and over again, and it triggered him. And the same thing happened with Brandon Streeter after the game in the press conference when they asked him about, did you ever think about making a quarterback change? And he snapped at David Hood, the reporter. It's like, guys, calm down, man. Like, if you can't handle the heat, Dabo's over there talking about how the fans can't handle losing, but he can't handle tough questions or easy questions as far as I'm concerned.
Here's the thing.
Well, and I'm agreeing with you about their response. Their response should have been, the typical coach response. I'm not arguing with that.
Just it's real simple. If Dabo Swinney and Brandon Streeter are tired of getting asked the same question, then fix it. It's pretty simple.
Well,
thing to do.
Well, it's also
Fix the
really
problem.
easy to. It's also really easy to sit on the fucking internet and say that. It's a whole lot harder to actually do it.
Yeah, well, when you keep doing the same thing over and over again and expecting a different result, that's pretty dumb. You get paid a lot of money to figure it out.
You're absolutely right.
I'm glad Justin's in here because he's a perfect example of a large portion of the Clemson fan base who Dabo Swinney walks on water. He can never do anything wrong. You can't criticize him, otherwise you're not a real fan. Anybody who thinks that somebody like PigskinPeete is going to run Dabo Swinney out of town is fucking delusional.
Yeah,
okay.
Like Dabo cares about what we think.
No.
Cool. I get Carolina fans calling me a fake fan all the time. Matt Brown won 10 games once at Carolina in the 90s.
Dude, I've been called a fake fan on here for 6 years.
Well, that's fine. So let's move on to the game. Enough about Dabo Swinney. Bottom line, I hate to spoil it for everybody. Dabo Swinney's not going anywhere. He's posturing.
Yeah.
And,
He's leaving to go to a real program like North Carolina.
He needs to come to Georgia Tech. We'll take him.
Yeah.
And they appreciate. Tell him, C-Dog, y'all would appreciate him there, too.
Well, yeah.
Dabo definitely wouldn't get asked.
We need a new wide receivers coach.
Yeah. So we'll see what happens. But, okay, South Carolina comes into Death Valley. To talk about one of the most frustrating games I've ever seen in my life.
Is Buddy going to come back? That went to South Florida, I wonder.
Who?
There are a lot of Miami fans happy about that.
Yeah. Scott, right?
Who are you talking about? Oh, Jeff Scott. Yeah. Well, I
offensive coordinator.
Yeah.
I think a lot of Clemson people would like that. I wouldn't hate it. I mean, Jeff Scott's a great recruiter at Clemson, and also the offense whenever he was running it was a lot better than it is now. So.
Yep.
Right.
Well, I mean, I've heard a lot of good things said about Willie Taggart, the OC. He's available.
Yeah. Okay.
No thanks. But
I mean, say what you want about him as head coach. I'll probably agree. But, kind of like Dan Mullen, from what I'm hearing about Willie Taggart, can't really knock him as an OC.
I think Clemson could use a great coach like Gene Chizik. I think they really need him.
John says Jeff Scott might replace Satterfield at South Carolina. Oh, man, that'd be something.
What?
Oh, that would be something.
Yeah.
Ooh.
I mean, he's coached there before.
Yeah.
All the South Carolina fans think they're taking our offensive coordinator, and that's not going to happen.
Yeah.
Larry Fedora is their offensive coordinator.
Yeah, they should get Larry Fedora.
I definitely do not want to see Jeff Scott in a Gamecock shirt. No.
This was a good weekend or whatever for South Carolina because they got rid of that Satterfield guy that they hate too, didn't they?
Oh, they love him now.
Fire him. He just left.
No.
Yeah.
He got
Look,
Nebraska.
man. You want to know the difference between South Carolina and Clemson as programs? They had given up on this. They had given up on this team 3 weeks ago. Given up.
Yeah.
Everybody fired. We're terrible. Rattler sucks. I hope he hits the portal next week. They beat Clemson by 1 point.
Yeah.
All of a sudden now they're the best team in the East. They're gonna win 10 in a row against Clemson. Jesus Christ.
I think that was actually lucky for them because they were probably right about Satterfield needing to go. I mean,
they like him now.
Their offense has been putrid. But if they like him now, no, I would be happy if I was a South Carolina fan and he was leaving. I'd be like, hell yeah, I would look at that as like two wins at once.
Okay, I've heard conflicting reports. I've heard conflicting reports. What the hell is Spencer Rattler doing?
Nobody knows.
Okay.
I don't know why anybody would want him. He's terrible.
He hasn't entered the portal, if that's what you're asking.
But he hasn't said anything either, so it's really just speculation.
I mean, there was rumors. The rumor I had saw was, him going to Nebraska, and I'm like, what?
No, that was
with Satterfield.
That was a fake.
Casey Thompson's better than Spencer Rattler.
That was a fake tweet. That's all that came from. He's not going to Nebraska.
Okay.
He's either going to the draft or coming back to South Carolina.
I mean, I don't think Spencer Rattler is as bad as people make him out to be. Because he put up numbers at Oklahoma. I think South Carolina as a whole is just terrible.
Well,
I still think he was kind of overrated in Oklahoma.
Well, I mean, that may be, but he's not. There's a whole lot worse quarterbacks out there.
I think Rattler is talented, and I think a lot of the issues with South Carolina this year. Honestly, South Carolina they're not like devoid of talent. Like you saw on Saturday. I mean, they have some really talented players. Jaheim Bell, Juice Wells, Juju McDowell. Like they have some playmakers. Yeah, I think. I don't know what they were doing, but they were trying to run like a lot of the season. They were trying to run like this complicated, like they were trying to do what the Rams are doing, and like doing all this NFL stuff. And I'm like, once they simplified the offense and just let Rattler go play and not have to think so much, they looked a lot better.
And they played to their strengths too. That's the sign of a pretty good coach team there. I mean, they played to their strengths. Their strengths are special teams and the deep ball, and that's how they killed Clemson. And they didn't run the ball for shit. What did they have? 40-something rushing yards, Jordan?
Yeah, it was 1 point. I know it was like 1 point something yards per carry.
Yeah, it was terrible. They could not run the ball at all in Clemson, but they were killing them with the deep ball. And on special teams, I mean, how many times did they pin them inside the 5-yard line? Like 4 times? It was ridiculous.
Ty Kroger, their punter.
Yeah.
He didn't even get nominated for the Ray Guy Award. That was crazy.
And
that's something that drives me crazy too. We get pinned in the freaking 4 all the time.
Well, our punter's terrible. But anyway, but Clemson's strength was running the ball, and they were completely devastating running the ball during the entire first half, and they just pretty much gave up on it in the second half for no reason that's apparent to me.
Well, and the thing is, it's like we didn't give up on the run, but we followed, like, instead, like every time we had a successful run, like for a first down or something, we would throw it 3 straight times. Right,
yeah, and then punt.
Yeah,
but
there was literally like 3 or 4 drives in a row where we literally did the same thing. I swear to you.
Yeah.
We ran the ball up the middle on first down, and then we threw two passes and punted. We did that like 3 or 4 times in a row.
Right.
Like this is the stuff I'm talking about with Clemson's offense. Like if my retarded ass sitting at home on the couch looking at a TV can figure out what you're going to do before you do it, it's not hard for these defensive coordinators that are paid $2 and $3 million a year to figure it out.
I mean, I don't know. I still haven't got an explanation of why Will Shipley only touched the ball 1 time in the fourth quarter whenever he was running all over him.
Yeah, at one point in time in the game, he had 12 rushes for 112 yards.
Yeah.
And he ended the game with 15 rushes.
Well, he was averaging, going into the fourth quarter, he was averaging 9.9 yards per carry.
Yeah, the first down every time he touches the ball.
And they stopped giving him the ball.
Touches the ball, and they stopped giving it to him. Like, what are we doing?
So, it's like I said after that game, when or immediately after the game when I made that video, I said that South Carolina deserved to win this game. It's because they coached better. And that's it.
What I don't understand is it's not like this team hasn't shown the ability that we're just going to line it up and run it on you. I mean, watch the Syracuse game. Like when Clemson got down early, they took DJ out, and they just said, okay, we're just gonna pound the rock. You clearly can't stop us because we're gonna push you around up front, and that's exactly what Clemson did, and they came back and won the game, and you didn't even have to come back in this game. You led for the entire game until the very end, and you just had so many different opportunities to put the game out of reach, and you went away from what was successful. And the play, and it was clear. I mean, I don't understand why you throw the ball. Your quarterback is completing 28% of his passes, and you continue to throw the ball. The receivers are not. The receivers had a horrible day.
Yeah, they did.
DJ missed guys. I was talking about this with another one of my Clemson buddies, Joseph Ngata. If you guys go back and watch the tape, he actually had a really good day. He won so many reps on Saturday, and DJ just flat out missed.
Yeah, he couldn't get him the ball. Yeah. There was at least 2 wide open receivers for touchdowns. He just overthrew. Now, and then there was a couple of other ones where he hit them on the numbers and they dropped the ball. And that's what the coaches were saying after the game. It wasn't just DJ's fault. We had receivers dropping balls. I get all that. But that doesn't excuse you from getting away from the playmakers in your run game, Phil Maffa and Will Shipley, and putting the ball in DJ's hand to win the game.
Yep.
That sounds like ego to me. Yeah, that really does.
It wasn't like it was a 2 minutes. Clemson's last real drive, they had 4 minutes left on. You could have ran your normal offense and ran up the and ran your normal offense instead of trying to get a quick score. you only had to get a field goal. You were down by 1 point.
Yeah.
It's not even like you have to drive the length of the field.
Yeah.
And you're throwing the ball three times in a row.
And the reason it comes across as ego to me is because look at the Bama Cincinnati game from last year. I mean, you've got a Heisman Trophy winning quarterback, but you're going to set all that aside. I don't think Bryce Young threw 20 passes in that game because Cincinnati couldn't stop the run, so why get away from it?
Exactly. They pounded the rock with Brian Robinson and those running backs. They let their offensive line and run game win the day. Clemson very easily could have done that.
Yeah, very easily could.
Whatever Clemson wanted on the ground on Saturday, they were able to get.
Yeah.
Yep.
That's why I say it was so frustrating to watch. I feel bad for Antonio Williams because the fumble at the end of the game when they had a chance to win it. But listen, this loss is not Antonio Williams' fault by a long shot.
Phil Maffa only had 7 carries.
Yeah, 7 carries.
Like what? I mean,
and he was averaging 5 yards a carry.
Antonio Williams had our only touchdown catch. I mean, so.
Well, Phil Maffa averaged like 6.8 yards a carry or something.
Yeah,
like
our running backs they couldn't stop him. That's what's frustrating. We won't even get into the trick play that they did on return because I'll just get mad about that.
That was awesome.
Tony Elliott last season, with how limited our offense was, knew, okay, against South Carolina, he was like, all right, we have no passing game to speak of. And he knew that before the game. And he was like, we have no passing game to speak of. We're just gonna pound the rock. And Clemson ran for like almost 300 yards on South Carolina last year, and they got the job done.
Yeah.
I don't understand why Brandon Streeter just why I don't understand why this offensive coaching staff, and I'm not going to put it all in straight. This offensive coaching staff, like, it seems like they outsmart themselves.
Absolutely, they overthink it
and try to, I mean, football is a really simple game in a lot of aspects, and you try to be the smartest guy in the room. You try to outsmart the other coach. It's like, no, sometimes just playing to your strengths and doing what, sticking with what works wins you football games.
Yeah.
And I don't know.
Thank you, TriStar, for the super chat. He says Voltard versus Taterman in the Orange Bowl. Yeah, well, I'm looking forward to. I hope that does happen.
That'll be a fun game.
Taterman won't be in the Orange Bowl.
Oh.
Well, nobody else is going to be from the ACC, so.
I mean,
y'all get
whoever
to watch,
wins on Saturday is going to the Orange Bowl.
Y'all get to watch Joe Milton overthrow receivers all day.
That'll be fun.
I agree with you, SEC dog.
Out of Tennessee,
knowing Clemson this season, he'll turn into 2019 Joe Burrow.
Drake May is going to carve you guys up.
All right. So anyway, I think we all from what I can tell, we're all pretty much in agreement on the way that thing went down. And again, I'll say for one last time, you won't hear me say it again. Congratulations to the Gamecocks on their big win. That's the end of that.
Yep.
Louisville and Kentucky, man, this was disappointing.
Kentucky's just cannot beat them.
It wasn't disappointing for me. I knew it was going to happen.
Yeah, I mean, Kentucky
This is a Virginia Tech situation. Louisville just can't beat them.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
This was a really good year for them too. I mean, because the matchup. I mean, Louisville has a really good front seven. Kentucky's offensive line has been terrible all year. Will Levis hasn't played great all year. I know Louisville, their quarterback situation was, Malik Cunningham played a little bit in this game. I mean, didn't really look great when he was in. And then, their backup, Brock Doman or whatever his name is, he did not play well. They're not Louisville. I'm never picking Louisville to beat Kentucky again until
they're cursed.
I'm with you. I'm not doing it either.
Kentucky, they're cursed.
They can't.
It doesn't matter how much better they are, what it looks like on paper. They can't get the job done.
Am I remembering this correctly? Even Lamar Jackson, when they were dominating.
Lamar Jackson was 0-2 against Kentucky.
Yeah.
Yeah. Right. That's what I was about to say.
Didn't he lose to Lynn Bowden?
Did Lamar beat Kentucky his last year? I think he did.
He might have. He definitely didn't beat him the year he won the Heisman.
No, he didn't. No, he lost to them.
I feel like that last year it came down to the last play of the game, though. If I remember right.
I swear Lamar lost to Lynn
Last
Bowden.
year?
What year was Lynn Bowden starting quarterback?
No, not last year. Lamar's last
It
year.
would have been Lynn Bowden.
I was about to say it was like 42-0 last year.
Jeez.
Wasn't it? Something.
Yeah, they beat Kentucky 44-17 his last year.
Okay.
But they did lose. He did lose to him in the Heisman year.
What was the year Lamar got in the fight with Kentucky player? That was hilarious.
Was it really a fight? Anyway, the birds with teeth fall.
Making the ACC look bad.
Well, Clemson had a hand in that.
Yeah. Florida State carried the flag for the ACC this week.
It is what it is.
Georgia Tech, I understand.
Thank you, Florida State.
Clemson and Louisville, though.
Yeah.
All right. The fruit.
We'll talk about North Carolina in a second.
Yeah, the fruit at Boston College, though, I don't think anybody's surprised about this. At least I wasn't.
Boston College doo-doo.
And Boston College just...
hey, Boston College gave them a fight.
Yeah, Boston College was up in that game. Syracuse came back.
Syracuse is really...
What happened to Syracuse?
I don't know, man. They fell off.
Their quarterback got hurt. They went on a losing streak, and they lost all the momentum they had.
So did Wake Forest.
Well,
they had a bunch of defensive players get hurt.
Right, and that's the thing about Syracuse is that their starters are really, really good, but they have 0-0, like no depth, no depth at all. And as you get late into the year, and guys start going down, they are like the least equipped in the conference to handle it. It's
really apparently Miami's not very equipped to handle a bunch of injuries either.
well.
Carolina had a bunch of injuries and started looking better.
We can take one injury.
Missing 7 starters.
So I'm going to say it because I know that it's Boston College is Boston College, right? They don't have like the loftiest of expectations by any means. But how long before we start hearing the Fire Hatley drum? I mean,
dude, they lost to UConn this year.
Yeah,
man.
They have a bunch of excuses this year, and he's done pretty well.
I mean,
they were playing walk-ons and defensive linemen at offensive line.
I don't know, man. It seems to me like
that's true, but 3-9 ain't it.
Yeah, that ain't it.
12 different offensive linemen. They had 12 different starting offensive linemen.
In Boston College,
they have excuses. I don't think Hafley should be fired.
And they lost their quarterback again.
Well,
but if he does this again next season, though, I mean,
if he does it again next season, I think he'll be on the hot seat. But I definitely don't think he is right now.
For the past 10 years or so before Hatley got there, Boston College, they are who they are, but they were a respectable team, and they were very physical, and that seems to have gone away.
Yeah, they'd win 7-8 games a year.
Yeah.
They haven't been respectable since Doug Flutie.
They're respectable for who they are. I mean,
I forget about Slim's vendetta against Boston.
The good old Harold Landry.
Yeah.
It's not really a vendetta. I'm just like whatever. I just don't like picking on Boston College.
It's funny because there's no Boston College fans or anybody to really care.
I'll pick another team to pick on next year.
Okay.
There's one loser on Twitter that he was a BC fan. He's a BC fan.
Fans or whatever.
No, not him.
I like that guy.
I forgot his name. He's like Hafley's. I don't know, but he's got in his bio dedicated Dabo Swinney hater, and that's not the problem. Like he was like an asshole to me on Twitter, and then he started talking about Brian Brzez's sister and stuff. And
oh damn!
Yeah, it was like So I was like, okay, all right.
Hey,
I've had I don't interact with BC fans much, but that was like the one guy I was like, oh wow.
Let's roll up on him, Jordan. I got you back.
They're called massholes for a reason.
Hey, Kirby's Belt in the chat. This is the ACC show. Yes, so we talk about ACC games on here. This is not an ACC channel. All right, we talk about college football on this channel year round, but this particular show on Tuesday nights is about the ACC. Yeah.
And if a channel talking about the ACC is enough to get you to unsubscribe, you're not really a college football fan.
I don't think anybody said anything about unsubscribing.
Who clicks on it? What did he say? Did he click on the ACC show and surprise that we're talking about the ACC?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like all those comments to say who cares about the ACC after they clicked on the name the ACC show.
But anybody's certainly welcome to hang around the ACC show. You don't have to be an ACC fan to hang around here. The majority of the people in the chat aren't from week to week. So
just hang around and keep typing that no one cares about the ACC.
Yeah, we'll definitely read it.
Listen, there was a void in the universe of a ACC show, and we filled it. Okay, thank you. You're welcome.
You should check out the SEC show.
I heard about that.
Work here.
Huh?
We're doing
That'll
a lot
be
of
more-
work here.
SEC show and haven't done an episode.
I think that'll be more his speed.
The SEC show, like, so basically every other college football show, and
Yeah.
No, I'm talking about the SEC.
ESPN.
I'm talking about the SEC show.
No, the SEC show. Go ahead and tell us who it is.
It's TikTok Chess Hall, our boy,
Chess Hall, and who's his co-host?
and Rama Jamma Taylor.
I thought Fishing and TB were doing the SEC
I'm
show.
about to say,
Yeah.
are they biting off Fishing and TV show?
I mean, they never. Fishing and TV still haven't done an episode.
So they
Damn.
jumped on it first. I mean, fighters, keepers.
Although, I mean, let's be honest. Who really wants to listen to a show about a garbage can conference like the SEC?
That's true.
That's what I'm talking about.
Good point.
The SEC, what a joke.
All right, moving on from the fruit and in Boston College. Wake Forest at Duke. How many of us picked Duke last week to win this?
I think I picked Duke.
I didn't, but I should
I
have.
didn't.
I think I
What
did.
the hell? Wait. What the hell?
I can't remember who I picked,
Duke?
honestly.
Duke kicks ass. What do they have? 8 wins? That's
Yep.
crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I mean,
man.
did Sam Hartman forget how to quarterback a month ago?
Apparently,
Yeah.
he forgot how to throw the ball to his receivers.
He's no Drake May, that's for sure.
Who gets ACC Coach of the Year?
Mike Luca.
Elko or what's his name?
Norvell.
Norvell, yeah.
Norvell.
Elko or Norvell?
Ooh.
They have to give it to Elko.
I think you have
Elko,
to give it to Elko.
I mean, Elko took over like a worse situation. Than,
How many games did Duke win last year? 3? And he took them to 8 wins?
yeah, that is.
I mean, Norvell has not.
Yeah.
This is his first bowl game in 3 years, and Elko
Yeah.
got Duke 8 wins in his first year. I think that kind of speaks for
Yeah, I
itself.
mean, but Florida State was a mess when Norvell got there.
What was Duke?
Yeah, Duke is terrible. But listen,
Yeah, but Florida State had like different problems. Like they.
yeah,
I mean,
I
Yeah,
agree.
but this
Duke
was
just
year
had absolutely
whatever,
no talent. He
Norvell.
took them to 8 wins.
yeah, no.
Yeah.
I mean, it's a good point.
I would actually give it to Norvell. I give it to Norvell.
I'm over here arguing for a Duke person.
I give it to Elko.
It's you. Look
I
at you,
don't
a
know,
reformed North Carolina fan.
Oh,
Yeah, give it-
See,
Pete, didn't we
nobody
do,
can ever call Luke Walker biased again.
Pete, didn't we
You can
do
only call me
superlatives
biased
last year?
against NC State
We
football.
did
I don't really
superlatives,
give a shit
yeah.
about Duke football.
We should do that again.
Yeah, we should.
We should do
Wait, what?
superlatives. We did
Superlatives.
superlatives last year. It was just
Oh, yeah, this will
fun.
be fun here with more people.
Yeah.
Yeah, we'll do it again this year. We could do it after. Well, hell, we could do it next week, I guess.
Least improved goes to Miami.
Well, we got championship games that we could talk about.
Yeah, so maybe we'll do it the week
They
after
won
that.
more games last year, Luke.
That's what I'm
We
saying.
could
They
do
didn't
like a-
improve.
We could do like a recap for most teams.
All right, so moving on to the next one, Virginia at Virginia Tech. Obviously, this game didn't get played.
Yeah.
And
This would have been an all-time classic game.
yeah,
So how is that the next one if the game didn't get played?
what's on the screen?
Fucking graphics guy.
Graphics guy thought it might be worth mentioning.
I think that
What, game that didn't get played?
I think it's worth putting up there to acknowledge the fact that it didn't happen. So
Yeah.
I agree with the graphics guy.
Yeah.
RIP to those players.
Yeah.
Well, I'm not dissing those players. Yes, RIP to the players, but
Let's be honest.
That didn't happen.
They did Virginia Tech a favor in this one by not playing this game. God almighty.
Oh man.
I still think Virginia Tech would have won. It's the same thing with Louisville and Kentucky.
Yeah.
Virginia just can't beat them.
Can you imagine if they had played this game? There wouldn't have been a single soul outside of Blacksburg that wanted Virginia Tech to win that game.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah.
I don't think very many people in Blacksburg.
Yeah, some of their fans may have wanted them to lose the game.
I mean, they probably would have called themselves assholes for wanting to win that game.
Yeah.
All right, so we won't talk about that too much. Sad situation, but hopefully they can bounce back strong next season. Pittsburgh at Miami.
What a beating. it was.
Man, oh man.
Pitt beat the brakes off of him.
Man.
Do you see the video of the D lineman slamming his helmet on his head?
Dude, I was really
Yo.
that was freaky.
That
But,
dude's insane.
He is.
Dude,
He wasn't bleeding. I don't know
was-
what's on his head.
I was really starting to think, I was like, I'm just waiting on it. We're fixing to have the fucking walk-on quarterback come out.
I was arguing for Peyton Matoka to get in the game.
I'm going to be honest with you. With the way Jake Garcia was playing, I mean, with him, it was the deep ball or nothing at all. Or he's taking a sack. I mean, that was it with him.
Jake Garcia needs to go to a D2 team. I think FCS might be too high a level for him.
Dude, how the hell was this guy a 4-star wide receiver? Borderline 5-star by some
quarterback
services.
He was ranked ahead of Drake May.
Oh, yeah, quarterback. What'd I say, wide receiver?
Hey, Cocky Twan, it's 8:20. You might need to go get your jammies on. It's almost bedtime, my friend. I don't know what you're doing on the internet right now.
I can't see the comments.
But
South Carolina fans.
Is that the dude that came around when Carolina lost to South Carolina? He just randomly in the chat that he never came back.
Yeah, they only show up around here when good things happen. So,
dude, I can't believe we haven't seen a Wolfpack Daddy sighting.
I know.
Oh yeah.
Oh, that's insane to me. I would.
You got off easy, Luke.
Because the state fans on Twitter, because I follow a lot of state fans on Twitter, and they've been flooding my timeline with UNC slander.
They're celebrating a little too hard for a team that says they own us.
I don't care about the Gamecock fans coming on here and flexing. I get it. It's been a long time.
Yeah.
I would do the same thing.
They should.
Yeah.
South Carolina fans don't claim to own you as a program. NC State talks about how they're a football school and they own us in football. Now they're going on a 2-week bender after they beat Carolina in football.
Well, there's no South Carolina fans saying that because it would be a ridiculous statement to say that.
It's a ridiculous statement for NC State fans to say that. They're 30 games back in the all-time series.
Yeah, same here. Well, I guess 29 now. But Miami was already in a casket, and then Pittsburgh just took their soul. Man.
It is actually tough that they don't get those bowl practices, though. Those would have been good for them.
Yeah.
Yep.
Well, I mean, I'll give Pitt a little shout-out. I mean, they haven't beat us in 5 years, so you got one. Happy for you.
I'm shocked Hawkins Pitt isn't on here.
I hurt his feelings, so he's not going to be here.
He's been gone since that Georgia Tech game. He don't want the smoke. Want the smoke?
Yeah, that's what he said this morning. That beating Miami took was karma for me talking shit about him. I was like, well, I'm going to keep talking shit, so I guess I'm getting some more.
Oh, you will. Don't worry. Don't worry.
Not this season. It's over.
It's over.
Yeah, right?
Yeah, Miami season is actually over.
For better.
Yeah, right. It really is.
Ours is too. So.
And I'm not half as upset about it as most of these Miami fans on the fucking internet. I've been having a field day
have to
with
watch
them.
the team play again.
Yeah, I don't know if I would want to watch that. Miami play another game if I was a fan. No, just get on the recruiting. I mean, just the staff.
Yeah, get onto the transfer portal.
Yeah,
that's
portal.
how I was last year, but I feel like we could do pretty good in a bowl game for my Jackets this year, at least.
It could help y'all, Sea-Dog, especially since you guys are gonna stick with Key as your coach.
Yeah.
Yeah, we lost in the first half of that game. We had one quarterback go down, the last original starting offensive lineman go down, a fumble and 2 picks.
Dang.
Anyway, Miami needs to take a break and take a rest, regroup.
This is the best time of year for Miami fans, the offseason.
Get some guys healthy. I mean, like we were talking about earlier with Boston College, the injury bug has not been nice to Miami this year.
All right.
Soft players.
Let's move on to the conference championship week. We got.
I'm not going to disagree with that, Jordan.
These are in order of importance.
Well, so that's funny you say that because I was going to start backwards this time. I was going to start with the SEC championship and move our way up. Talk about North Carolina, Clemson last.
The lowly, shitty SEC. What a poverty conference.
Georgia by 40. Who gives a shit?
Smallest cares.
Corner of it.
I mean, I'll give the SEC this much now, and granted, I'm going to caveat this. It could be an Auburn thing, but for the same reason that we give the SEC hell, look at Bo Nix. He went out to the Pac-12 and balled.
Well, the Pac-12
So
already knew that.
maybe the Pac-12 is worse, but it also just could be an Auburn thing.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Still proves the ACC's better than the SEC.
LSU is gonna whip Georgia's ass easily. It's gonna be friggin' awesome. It'll be 2019 all over again.
Yeah, the worst part is even if Georgia
down
loses,
in the
bayou. They're still going to the playoffs.
Me and my family.
Family.
Family. Oh, I'm gonna be great. I'm
kind of with Sea-Dog. I'm not sure it's going to be LSU, but I mean, if they show up like they did against, Georgia Tech, Kentucky, Missouri in one of these next 3 games, they're going to lose it.
Yeah, they are. Honestly, losing the SEC championship wouldn't really do much, though, except for their seeding.
Yeah,
So,
they dropped from 1 to 3 or something like
if I had
that.
to pick, I'd probably rather them lose a playoff game, because or both.
I know Georgia fans think they're 10 feet tall and bulletproof, but I've watched your team, sir.
Georgia's
No, you're not.
Dude, they're pathetic, man.
And then you hear they're sleepwalking until the playoffs. Then
They got a little kid at quarterback. I mean, it's going to cost them here. It's time for big boy football, not this sleepy SEC East.
The problem with LSU is that they don't have much of a passing game at all, and they rely heavily on their quarterback run. And I don't think that matches up well against Georgia's defense. So I think Georgia's going to win this by a lot, probably.
Yeah,
I agree with you.
Yeah.
Now, I will say this: they probably won't cover the spread because they're just not good at covering the spread. But
I will say, though, I've been saying this. I want to see LSU beat them just to see what the committee would do with LSU.
What? So if LSU wins and then Kansas State wins and then Utah wins.
Oh, good God!
See, now that would be interesting.
Yeah.
It would be Georgia, Ohio State, Bama, and Tennessee in the playoffs.
Or
Michigan.
You can't forget. Oh my God!
I did forget.
Oh my God! If Michigan lost to Purdue, oh my God!
Oh Jesus!
All the
still get in.
playoff
That'd be
teams lose
hilarious.
this weekend.
They about lost to Illinois.
I mean, we all know how this is going to go. All the high-ranked teams are going to win, except for Clemson, obviously.
I don't know. USC might lose.
Dude, I thought that last week, and
I did
they were very impressive against
I actually
them.
picked Notre Dame to win. They play out of their mind.
I think SC.
Can TCU lose and still get in? Or
Maybe.
I think they should too.
They'd put Ohio State in if TCU.
Yeah.
I think so.
What's aggravating to me is that it's even a question because it shouldn't be.
It should,
Right.
yeah.
Well,
TCU.
I think the only way TCU gets knocked out is if they get blown out.
Okay.
Really?
Yeah.
You think that they could either
They shouldn't get knocked out if they got blown out. Notre Dame got blown out.
I didn't say
Georgia got
I didn't
blown
say whether it was right or wrong. I'm just saying what I'm thinking is going to happen.
out. Okay. Well,
Speaking of
Yeah.
TCU, Max Duggan should not be on the Davey O'Brien finalists over Drake May. That was bullshit.
He's just better, Luke.
Yeah.
If Drake May was the quarterback at TCU, they'd still be undefeated. If Max Duggan was at Carolina, we might win 6 games.
I mean, maybe maybe
It's
if
like
Drake
800
May,
less
maybe
yards,
Drake May would get
7 less
one
touchdowns than Drake May.
if he didn't forget how to play football these past couple weeks.
I can tell.
So you're admitting that Phil Longo is inferior to Sonny Dykes and Garrett Riley?
Yes.
No, I'm saying Drake May is superior to Max Duggan.
All right, so I think we all have Georgia,
but
other
you
than
also-
Sea Dog, because Sea Dog would never pick Georgia no matter what. So, and it's clear
LSU's gonna win big time. Yeah.
it's clear there's several people in the chat here that aren't familiar with Sea Dog.
Me and my family. They're not familiar with Sea Dog.
A lot clearly.
Listen, LSU is just
Should I
overlooking
fill 'em
Texas
in?
A&M. They're going to come
Yeah.
and blow out Georgia.
Yeah, you want
Should I let
to?
'em
Hey,
in?
you want to go ahead and fill them in?
Oh, dude. Me and my family of the LSU freaking. I'm about to be looking down in the bayou this week.
Look down in the bayou.
I'm looking down in the bayou. I'm grinding on recruits. I've got my family. And LSU is going to come up into Atlanta and whoop the shit out of the overrated-ass Georgia Bulldogs who suck and have a little kid at quarterback. They have a freaking garden gnome at quarterback who's going to turn the ball over 4 times. Going to turn the ball over 4 times.
have two good players on their offense, which would be their tight ends, and a defense that is completely overrated and gave up an easy little touchdown to a Georgia Tech squad that was down to its third or fourth strings quarterbacks.
See, dog, you may actually be right about 3 or 4 turnovers.
Make sure they don't see you. Take some bad walk down, face them with the heat. The devil under your feature on your way to see him. Stretch me when I can't sleep, bang out when I see you. Play with me, you can't sleep. We got into the sea-shoe. You won't have no case rearrange your shape soon as they face you. You won't have no space, we in your section too.
Look down in the bayou.
Oh, that's quality
My
soft.
family.
I just thought about it. You know, Clemson gave up less points to Georgia Tech than Georgia did, and scored more points.
No, so Georgia's not a playoff team in that.
Well, I was spamming a few times in the chat. I said I heard at some point this season, if you don't beat Georgia Tech by 30, you're not a playoff team in that. And somebody didn't beat Georgia Tech by 30.
Uh-oh.
Playoff team in that. Playoff team in that.
If you don't beat Georgia Tech by at least 30, I don't want to hear nothing about being a playoff team in that.
And then if you beat them by 30, but it doesn't look as good as I wanted to, you're still not a playoff team in that.
Imagine not beating Georgia Tech by 30.
They're frauds.
Well, like I said, we've already used the transitive property to figure out Georgia's as good as Miami.
Yep.
Transitive
property. All the shit teams beat Georgia Tech, I just got to say. Great teams lose to Georgia Tech.
All right.
That's awesome.
So Georgia over the corn dog most likely. Pac-12 championship. This might be one of the best games of the week, honestly.
Yeah.
On a Friday night.
It's on Friday night.
Pac-12 is high school football.
No.
Go Utes.
Go Utes, baby.
Southern Cal right now.
Utes, baby.
Southern Cal is peaking at the right time. No, I want Southern Cal to. Why would you want the Utes to win?
Because chaos.
Yeah, but don't you want to see a good
team?
Don't you want to see a good playoff matchup? I don't think Utah.
Let's be honest. What are we going to see? We're going to see Lincoln Riley do Lincoln
Southern
Riley.
Cal's going to get blown out anyways.
At this point, I just
we
want
get
to
see Ohio State versus Georgia.
I disagree with you guys. And I feel like this is weird because I've been the one shitting on SC all year. Now I'm the one beating their drum.
I have nothing against Southern
I'd rather
Cal.
see
I just want to see the world burn.
Yeah,
I think USC is going to win, but I'd like to see Ohio State versus Georgia in the semifinal.
Yeah, I would too.
USC versus Georgia.
I would too.
I'd rather see SC in Georgia.
Either one would be fun. But
SC is too soft to beat Georgia. That's kind of.
I agree.
But they have.
Have you looked at Ohio State? They're pretty damn soft as well.
SC has the type of offense that can give Georgia fits. I don't think that if you look at the other teams that are most likely going to make it, right? TCU, Michigan. I don't think they match up well with Georgia. Caleb Williams, that passing game and the running game. There's a lot to handle there if you're Georgia's defense.
They also have a really good offense. They have a Joe Moore finalist, finalist offensive line. So
yeah,
that's a big deal when you're going up against Georgia. So
I mean, let's be honest though. I mean, more than likely we're going to end up with Michigan against Georgia, which may go down as the most boring game in human history.
Yeah,
and Georgia's going to drag them because Michigan tries to beat Georgia.
I don't know.
Michigan will whoop the shit out of Georgia.
We're looking at Georgia through the lens of what they were last year. They are not that team. I mean, they don't have those they're still really good, but they kind of remind me of what 2019 Clemson was. You know, they were coming off of the dominant national championship win, great defense. In the 2019 Clemson's defense was still really good, but they didn't have all the playmakers, and they weren't just loaded up front like Georgia was last year. I mean, Jalen Carter's really good. They have some good. I don't think their linebackers as good as they were last year, and the secondary's been pretty good. But I don't know. It's not.
Well, there's also no 2019 LSU to beat this Georgia team.
What Jordan is trying to say is that Georgia's is really bad team.
Exactly.
Doesn't matter.
All right, just keep
you said it more succinctly and nicely than I did.
A bunch of clowns and frauds, and they're gonna lose.
So
running back 1980, Carolina's winning the ACC, Georgia's winning the national title.
Nonetheless, this will be good. And this game came down to the very end last time as well. It was a close game when they played earlier in the season. I'm taking Southern Cal here.
I'm picking the Utes.
USC.
I'm picking the Utes.
Picking the Utes.
Go Utes.
I'm picking Trojan, man. Let's go.
I'm going to pick USC, but I want the Utes to win.
And
Yeah, I'm gonna have
learn
to-
a different song. I'm tired of hearing that damn song.
I'm going to have to pick USC, too, because, listen, I thought Notre Dame was going to out-physical USC, and it really went the other way around.
I'm with you, Slim. They shocked me with that. I mean, not that Notre Dame's like some kind of world beater, but I just thought it was going to be a mismatch in the trenches. And look, here's the thing, though.
It was even more of a mismatch from the outside.
And USC come out from the opening whistle and just shoved it right down Notre Dame's throat.
So
you're right. I think USC is going to win.
I underestimated Caleb Williams' ability. Now, I know he was great and all that. I'm not saying I thought he was bad, but Notre Dame was actually getting pressure. He was just playing friggin' Houdini back in the pocket.
God. Have you seen
Next year's quarterback draft class is ridiculous, by the way.
some of those highlights? Caleb Williams not going to the NFL this year, is he?
Yeah, that's why I said next year.
No, he's not this year, no.
Yeah.
It'd be Drake May, Caleb Williams, J.J. McCarthy, Quinn Ewers.
Well, this
I think
year
Tyler Van Dyke, too, because I think he's coming back.
Yeah.
Tyler Van Dyke's a 7th-round draft pick.
Yeah, right now.
All right, so let's move on to the Big 12, TCU and Kansas State.
Give me TCU. Who gives a shit?
I think
Is Martinez playing?
I think it's going to be a close game.
As far as I know, Martinez is playing, yeah.
Well, I mean,
Will
I know he
Howard's
was
better.
out.
Their backup is better.
I've been
he
fading
really?
TCU all year, and they won't lose. I don't know. They're like incapable of losing.
They're gonna win in true TCU fashion.
They're like incapable of losing. So I'm gonna have.
Dude, that was some Houdini shit 2 weeks ago. So
Yeah.
I got to go with TCU.
I do too.
I don't know. Kansas
my
State
brain
should have
tells me
should have
Kansas
won the
State.
regular season meeting.
Because they had their quarterback hurt last time, and
Yeah.
they were whooping them.
They were up by a bunch.
Yeah.
Well, there are a lot of teams that were up on TCU. So
Yeah.
Let me tell you,
I mean, this was kind of a special. It was different.
this is another game that the first time they played was very, very close. And I think Kansas State gets the better of them this time. All the pressure's on TCU.
Yeah.
that is true.
I
So
could definitely see TCU losing this game.
I do too. I do too. I don't know what to think. I'm probably.
Now does Sonny Dykes get Coach of the Year?
he probably should, yeah.
Yeah, he should.
What, national coach of the year?
Yeah.
Who was
Yeah.
talking about TCU preseason, or even when they were like 5-0?
The only other coach I could think of to get National Coach of the Year would be Lincoln Riley. I mean, talk about a turnaround.
Riley is the best team money could buy.
But whatever. He did it though. He did it within the bounds of the rules, and he took a complete dumpster fire and turned them into a playoff team in one offseason. I mean, that's really impressive.
Man,
You're right.
Oklahoma
Technically,
man's gonna be
everything's
mad.
for the rules now.
Huh?
Well, he's turned them into exactly what he had at Oklahoma. I mean, it's a system offense, and he's still got no defense.
Whatever. He still went out and got all the pieces to put in the puzzle, and they went from terrible to great in one
They were
offseason.
4-8 last year.
Yeah.
So, I mean,
And that's fine, and I'll give him credit for that. But you can still look at it and say the same thing about USC and Tennessee. They're great teams.
All right,
This
but
is a completely different roster than last year, though.
Yeah, so let's say, and the Pac-12.
There's a lot of the same players.
Here's the other thing that's impressive about it is that the Pac-12 has some really good teams this year. So it wasn't like they skated through the Pac-12. They had some competition, and
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
And Slim, if Miami went out after the season they had this year, which is basically similar to the season that Southern Cal had last year, and they were a playoff team next year, you telling me that Mario Cristobal shouldn't be the coach of the year?
I would make the exact same argument that I was on your show making in 2017, that Miami was a good half a team.
Okay.
I mean, I did. It is what I'll call them what they are, even if it's my own team.
Well, he should at least be on the list. I would say between him.
It's also not the same roster that USC won 4 games with last year, so it's not like he took a team that won 4 games and then took.
No. But he's the one that built that roster.
A different team.
He's the one that built that roster.
Yeah,
I'm not saying that
did a
he
great
should
job
be
paying for all the
considered,
free agents.
but to me, I would give it to Sonny Dykes. That's just my
I
opinion.
would too. I mean, Sonny Dykes is undefeated. I mean, I guess we'll see how it goes here the last couple of weeks. But
So, I mean, in essence, we still agree. I would have Lincoln Riley on the list. I'm not saying he shouldn't be on the list.
Yeah, Lincoln Riley would be like 3.
it was probably harder to do what Sonny Dykes did than what Lincoln Riley has done.
How many games did TCU win last year? And it's like the same team.
I don't think anybody would argue that it's easier to do it at Southern Cal versus TCU.
Yeah.
I'm not particularly a huge fan of Lincoln Riley's, but I can respect the hustle, and he's playing the game as good as anybody is right now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So.
I mean, I'm no Oklahoma fan, so I mean, I don't have that level of hatred for him.
Right. All right, so let's pick this game. TCU at Kansas State. I'm taking K-State in a close one. I'm not confident about that. I just feel like that TCU, and we've been saying this all year, right? TCU is finally due to lose a game, for Christ's sake. And they have their backs against the wall. Kansas State has nothing to lose. So there you go.
Roll, horny toads, roll.
I think my mind is telling me K-State, but
your body's telling you what? TCU?
I mean, everything else is telling me TCU because they just can't lose. I don't know. I really don't know.
Everything else, huh?
No, right now his body's telling him, oh.
My loins are telling me TCU.
God damn.
Overshare.
Horny frogs instead of horned frogs.
I really don't know. I'm gonna say K-State because I think K-State, but I've been fading TCU all year and they won't lose. So who knows? Not that I want them to. I mean, this is a great story. I love seeing the underdog freaking pop up and whip some ass.
Yeah, I really don't care who wins this game, but I think it's going to be good.
I'm definitely going to be tuned in. It'll probably be the most entertaining.
Probably.
That or it's the Southern Cal game.
Hopefully the ACC
championship.
Hopefully the ACC championship's not entertaining.
I think Carolina Clemson will be an interesting game to watch.
No,
Actually,
Carolina's getting blown out.
I forgot.
Carolina's getting blown out.
Clemson's getting blown out.
Clemson's getting blown out. Georgia.
I don't think either team is getting blown out, but okay.
Clemson's getting that ass beat.
All right, we'll get to that one in a minute. Let's move on. Michigan and Purdue. This is probably the worst one out of all of them.
Who cares?
Yeah.
This is the reason. I'm sorry. This is the reason that I've been such a proponent of eliminating divisions. And
this is a special case. I wouldn't really want to see Ohio State.
This game's gonna
play again.
Why not?
Hey, I mean, it might be better next year.
This week.
So
might be better next year. Luke Fickell to Wisconsin.
That's what
you telling me the hype leading into Michigan and Ohio State rematch 2 weeks in a row wouldn't be fantastic? It would be fantastic.
I don't think the game would change that much.
It's just lame. And imagine the disappointment if you're the team, you beat them the first time and you overcome the hump and everything. Then you go and lose the second time. It just sucks.
Well, nonetheless, Michigan big. I don't know. I don't even know what else to say about this. I'd rather see a rematch with Ohio State than watch them pummel.
Literally the week before.
They're going to pummel Purdue. It's not going to be entertaining at all. I'd rather watch them play somebody who could put up a fight.
What's going to be entertaining is Michael Hogg after Purdue upsets him. That's going to be entertaining.
Dear God.
He's going to be
always talk shit about the ACC for this happening. Where's the hate for the Big Ten, by the way?
Clemson's next offensive coordinator, Joe Brady.
Bring up that Pitt team that went to the ACC championship.
All right, so is anybody taking...
stinkers sometimes, but most of the times you get a good matchup, and it's not a rematch. So I think it's the exception.
Next year in the ACC, we don't have to worry about it anymore. So I'll be happy.
Yay, I get to play freaking Wake Forest in Louisville. Yay.
Woo!
Yeah.
2 automatic losses. That's tough. Hate it for you.
Wow, really?
Dude, I got fucking Boston College in Louisville.
Y'all keep harping on the teams, but you're not thinking about the other teams you get to play every other year.
I get to play Syracuse and NC State now. Yay!
Yeah, you have to deal with NC State fans like the rest of us.
Yay.
Yeah.
That's the thing. Like, I don't care at
Hold on now. Isn't Georgia Tech... Isn't Georgia Tech and Georgia Tech is in Clemson's whatever you want to call it, pod or whatever?
That's
what
fine.
the teams are saying about getting to play Georgia Tech. Exactly what Seedaw's saying about them.
Yeah, they're great. They can stay in the Atlantic. I really don't care about playing them. I like the coastal teams. I like playing the Virginias. I like playing Miami. I like playing Pitt, and I even like playing Duke. So
Well, we know that because the Atlantic's been so dominant over the coastal that you're scared.
Yeah,
I'm not scared of them. We have one of the toughest schedules in the country year in and year out. I'm not scared of them, and I like it.
Are you giving Georgia a little credit with that statement?
No, that's an easy mop-up win at the end of the year. I'll talk about Clemson. We always play Notre Dame. We played Ole Miss out of conference this year.
See, dog, tell them you had to play against that Heisman contender Hendon Hooker.
That's right, and Virginia Tech.
Yeah.
I mean, what can we even do?
And you know, he was, you know, Hendon Hooker. He had a tough time in the ACC. It was
he got benched twice against Carolina.
Yep.
Our out of conferences are all insane.
The ACC for the week.
We have a home and home with freaking Ole Miss this year next.
Oh.
Yeah, we got our ass kicked by Ole Miss this year.
That was it. Hold on. Where was that? Was in Georgia Tech, wasn't it?
Yeah. We got blown out 30-nothing.
So you got to go down there next year, huh?
Collins.
Yet another SEC West team that would beat Georgia. Wow, that's crazy.
Yeah, speaking of new coaches getting hired, we've got a home and home with Auburn coming up in a couple of years.
Hey,
that'd be cool. The only team from the Atlantic I'm excited about playing more is Florida State.
How many do you guys think that every time that Gus Malzahn, that Hugh Freeze and Auburn go on the road to play a game, that somebody in that town is going to find out what hotel they're staying in and send a bunch of hookers to Hugh Freeze's room?
That would be hilarious.
I hope College Game Day, is at wherever Auburn visits at least once next year.
Oh, the signs, yeah.
The signs.
I already know
I wish Hendon Hooker had eligibility left. He should have transferred to Auburn.
For the record, Pete, I already know what hotel the opposing teams stay at in Miami.
Hey. Well,
they just stay at one. There's like one specific one they stay at.
Auburn would never come to Chapel Hill, but I know where they stay.
Yeah,
here.
about like opposing teams stay in that hotel across from the stadium at Clemson that Pete showed me.
Basically, have a shorter distance to travel to the stadium on Miami game day than Miami does.
I figured I didn't know if it was the same because obviously Miami and Coral Gables is.
Yeah, Miami should put
Clemson.
them in a hotel in like Orlando, so they have to travel.
That'd be hilarious.
Actually, I think they did that one year. They put them in Fort Lauderdale.
all right. So I don't think anybody's picking Purdue, is there? I know Slim likes to be a contrarian. Are you going to pick the Boilermakers, Slim?
No.
Okay.
What is a Boilermaker?
No,
it's like
a dude with a fucking wrench, apparently.
I'm pretty sure it's a train because that's what their logo is.
No, it's like the boiler of the train.
Yeah. Purdue is a good basketball team, though. Congrats on that.
Now, I do want to see if there's some kind of lawsuit that pops up from this past week's games because Minnesota stole Buckeyes' logo and put it on the side of their helmet.
Really?
It does look like that.
Did they really?
Yes.
That's awesome.
I mean, it's a damn beaver, but it really does look just like the Buckeyes logo, except I guess it was supposed to be gold, maybe yellow, but it was a chrome color.
That's hilarious.
Yeah.
I would Bucky.
It was very cartoonish looking. He's right.
That place is awesome.
Dude, I stopped at my first
Buckeyes
on my way to Clemson.
I can't believe you just know.
Overrated.
It's not overrated. They're great.
The thing that got me about it is like there's people in there clothes shopping. I'm like, it's a fucking gas station.
Yeah.
The turkey and the buzzsaw video is actually from Buckeyes. They have a like a frozen food section with like jalapeno poppers, and that was like a. It was like
I would never eat a turkey I bought at the gas station.
No.
Oh, this is not just any gas station. This is Bucky's, sir.
I stopped to look at the smoker they had chained up outside, and I'm like, I'm not buying a grill from a fucking gas station.
It's also never dawned on me to eat those hot dogs at a gas station.
It's really not
like it's not a gas station like you're thinking.
I'm tired of the gas station food slander. It's really not that bad.
Well,
listen, I'll stop at a gas station and get a honey bun and a soda.
I mean,
Stop it, Bucky. It's different.
I did stop at Bucky's. You can put all the lipstick on a pig that you want to. At the end of the day, it's still a fucking gas station.
It's not. It's a gas station, but it's like you go inside and it's like a Walmart, closer to a Walmart than a gas station.
Yeah, that's like saying that. That's like saying that Costco is a gas station. No, it's a store that sells gas.
Yeah, that's what it is. Yeah.
It's kind of like those Harris Teeters that have like the gas pumps out there.
Yeah.
I'm not saying Bucky's is like the best.
I've never been in one before. I can just imagine for people watching it probably be amazing and fantastic. But
yeah.
As soon as you drive it across the line from Georgia into Florida, like across the state line, there's a million Bucky's in Florida. I've driven past a million of them. I've never stopped at one though.
They're great.
We stopped at one in Alabama. I didn't know they're all over Texas too, because apparently that's where they originated.
They're great for road trips because you walk in and they have like a huge island in the middle where they're like cooking up fresh like sandwiches and stuff and they wrap them up and they're ready to go. They have like chicken sandwiches and like pulled pork and brisket. And, like,
yeah,
that's all right. The bathroom in that Airbnb paid for their sausage, egg, and cheese biscuit.
Okay, moving on to the last game, and in my opinion, the most important game. North Carolina and Clemson in Charlotte. 8 p.m. kickoff, thank God. I was hoping this wasn't an earlier game.
This is the culmination.
The championship's always at 8 p.m.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Reese and Kurt calling it. It'd be big time.
Jeez.
This is the culmination of the entire show that we do.
Wait, I don't think the 2020 game was at like 3:30 actually, but normally it's late.
Dude, I don't mind Kurt, but I could do without Reese.
I don't know.
Reese,
Whatever.
It's Chris Fowler.
Chris Fowler, yeah.
I get
that's right.
because their voices are so similar.
It's funny you guys say that. I don't think I've heard a single Clemson game this year because I stream them, so I don't listen to them. I'm busy on the air, which would be the same thing this weekend.
You're not missing much. Todd Blackledge has he's been on so many of our games this year. I'm sick of it. I'm glad.
Dude, and to make that Pitt game even worse, I was stuck listening to fucking Dan Orlovsky.
I like Dan Orlovsky.
We had freaking Beth Mowens calling the North Carolina games.
Oh yeah, that was terrible.
I don't want to hear it.
You know,
we get West Durham a lot. I guess because of Woody, but we get West Durham a lot.
You know what's ironic?
And by the way, I've started a petition at petition.org to get Gary Danielson and Lou Holtz to commentate every Georgia game from here until they're both dead.
You know what's ironic about
Gary Danielson I was like, I see why people hate him. At the end of the Tennessee game, like they had just pulled this historic like upset and like they were flooding the field and carrying the goalposts around, and he was like, it's important to remember that Alabama still controls their own destiny. Like, okay, man.
What?
Yeah.
God, that was back in 2000.
That was this year, man. But
you're talking about the Georgia Tennessee game this year, okay.
No, not Georgia Tennessee. I'm talking about Alabama Tennessee. Did I say Georgia?
I could have swore you did, but
I was talking about Alabama Tennessee.
I got you.
But they were like, yeah, it's important to remember that Alabama controls their own destiny. Earlier this year, we had a game called by the King, Roddy Jones.
Roddy Jones is so annoying.
What?
A lot of people didn't like Brett Musburger, but I did.
I like
Eat my ass, Luke.
I'm pretty sure Brent Musburger was just fucking slamming.
Roddy Jones is a king, dude.
Dude, he was just slamming whiskey every show, dude. By the fourth quarter, Brent Musburger was fucking sauced up, man.
Roddy
That was the best part.
I do got to say, though, I think the saddest thing I've seen all season was fucking Paul Feinbaum jumping from one bandwagon to another.
Oh, yeah.
Coming out of the coffin.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
That was...
I mean, because that dude, Nick Saban's been using his tongue for toilet paper for over a decade.
Right. And it's funny that it's his he finally acknowledges his alma mater's existence.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, they put him in that ugly ass Tennessee casket. Damn. The funny thing about Kirk Herbstreit is that everyone's like, oh, Kirk Herbstreit, all he does is prop up Clemson. He loves Clemson. I hate hearing him call Clemson games. And then the Clemson fans go, man, Kirk Herbstreit hates Clemson. It's like, what?
I mean, you would think that he would prop up Ohio State, but he really doesn't.
Yeah, well,
honestly, I mean, Kirk has. I think he has a good deal of respect for Dabo and Clemson. I mean, obviously, he sent his kids there, but
yeah.
Well, one of them is gone. I think one of them is at Ohio.
One of them was transferred to Ohio State. Yeah.
Jake is at Ohio.
One of them's working for the Pat McAfee show at some point.
Oh, that might be Jake. Jake might have graduate, but Ty is still on the team. Ty Herbstreit is still on with Clemson. He's a wide receiver.
I mean, I got to give Kirk a little credit. I mean, his comments did kind of kick the administration and kick their asses into gear at Miami.
Did you guys see the video of him getting his feet rubbed last week?
Yeah.
No.
What?
You guys see that?
It was, what game was that? It was really cold outside. It was a couple weeks ago.
Montana.
They were
Montana.
No. What was
That's
it?
where game day was. It was Montana.
Oh,
The week before.
Yeah, Montana. Yeah, they were like rubbing his feet to make him warm or something. I don't know.
Yeah.
Who was rubbing his feet?
Like,
It was like a little PA girl.
yeah, like one.
like the dogs were out.
Yeah, his feet were out of his shoes. I think he still had his socks on.
He had a socks on, yeah, but she was like rubbing his feet.
Yeah.
Yo, that's weird, dude.
As long as you have socks on.
That is weird.
Trying to
It's
warm
still
him up.
weird even if you had socks on.
Yeah, poor intern over there had to rub
This is
Kirk
our
Herbstreit's
ACC
feet.
Championship talk, by the way.
Talk about working your way up from the bottom, out here rubbing people's feet.
Yeah.
That's why I couldn't work for ESPN or something. Because
Some people pay good money to see that.
if
so
somebody
you
told me,
it-
"Hey, go over there and rub Kirk Herbstreit's feet on the set," I'd be like,
Hell
"Nah,
no.
bro, you have to fire me. I ain't doing
Yeah,
it."
you pay me enough, I'll do it.
Yeah, oh yeah.
No.
Yeah.
No.
Some people will
Can't be an intern, but if you're paying me, I'll do it.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. Moving on from the announcers. So, what about this game? I mean, I think Clemson should run the ball early and often, but then again, I've been saying Clemson should run the ball early and often all season, and
I don't know what to expect.
North Carolina sucks. I mean, Georgia Tech beat them with no quarterback. So
Honestly, like coming off of the game last week, I don't have a great feeling, man. Like,
I don't think anybody does.
being honest, like it's,
I don't think either.
I don't know what we see from our offense. I have no idea.
Yeah, well, at the same time, though, what are you seeing out of North Carolina's offense? I mean, they've really stalled out.
Yeah.
And this is going to be
they started to
obviously.
pick it up near the end of the NC State game. Hopefully that shows some growth, but they were terrible for a little while.
Well, I mean, NC State, Miami, Georgia Tech. I mean, there's just game after game where your
You
offense
just
just
named
wasn't
the
that
three
impressive.
and said game after
in Virginia,
game.
yeah.
Yeah, I mean, but you want me to keep going? I will.
We were not. Our offense was not bad against Virginia.
I think the idea is to get Drake May flustered, and listen. He hasn't seen a pass rush like he's going to see.
Yeah, I mean, they
This Saturday.
The Georgia Tech, he's seen the Georgia
The
Tech
closest
pass
thing he
rush
saw to a
maybe
good pass
for that.
rush was against NC State, and NC State beat them. So
I mean, if you get him flustered, he'll turn the ball over. He proved that against Miami.
Not really.
Yeah, really.
You're citing one example. He's gotten hit in other scenarios, and he did.
Tech defense has slept on.
Yeah, we gotta get pressure, but we gotta also be careful because they can definitely, obviously, hit the big play, and
well, I'm sure that
our back end's not exactly airtight back.
I'm sure that offensive staff.
If you blitz a lot, we'll eat you alive.
Yeah, they're studying that tape, and they're looking at what happened with Wake Forest. They're looking at what happened with South Carolina, and they're going to put together a game.
We have a better offense than both those teams.
What is Luke? If you had to guess, and then clearly it's just a guess, you have no idea. How many times do you think North Carolina throws the ball in this game? Give me a number.
Upwards of 40. I'm getting for me.
I was going to.
Depends on how long Clemson has the ball, so I'd say 35, maybe 40.
Yeah, that's about right.
I don't think they'll be able to run consistently.
Well, we've never been able to run consistently. It's like we go like 2, 2, 20, and then back to 2.
Yeah.
I mean, to me, the game plan for this game is real simple, or at least it should be. Control the clock, run the ball, keep Drake May keeping the pine warm.
Absolutely.
Yeah, well, that's the problem.
Yeah.
They never stick with that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I said it should be. I didn't say it's going to be.
I agree with you 100%.
I know. Hey, we're on the same page, Slim. Like we're all thinking the same thing. I just don't trust our offensive staff.
Yeah, we
to
all
actually
agree with
stick
you that the offense at Clemson just doesn't.
Yeah.
I mean, I think Carolina's defensive plan should just be make DJ beat you. So stack the box and make their receivers beat you one-on-one.
Yeah, that's
Yes, I think North Carolina's defense is bad enough that you could stack the box and still not stop Clemson's run game.
That's the issue. As soon as teams start stacking the box, Clemson just gives up on the run.
Yep.
When they shouldn't. So if you want to stop Clemson's run, just stack the box and they'll stop running it. You don't have to worry about defending it anymore.
Yeah. North Carolina's run defense isn't horrible. It's like
when we really hone in to stop the run, we can stop the run.
Well, I wouldn't even call them average. I mean,
their run defense statistically is that, but their defense on the whole is not is bad.
Well, it's 14th in the ACC. They're last in the ACC.
Yeah. Well, on the whole, there's only 2 defenses worse in the country.
Right. But we can't. I don't. Our wide receivers. I don't trust any of our wide receivers. But outside of,
it's not like Clemson has some crazy offense that'll be able to put 60 on us or something.
Bo Collins is out too. So,
but yeah, Bo Collins is out for the year. That's DJ's favorite target when he's actually in the game. And then
him and Antonio Williams.
The only wide receiver that gets consistent separation and wins one-on-ones is Antonio Williams. So,
and the tight ends, but they just don't want to throw them the ball.
Yeah, we don't want to throw to the tight ends, so it doesn't matter. I think the tight ends could be a huge weapon for us in this game if we actually decided to use them, but I highly doubt we will.
Well, according to Streeter, they should have used the tight ends more last week.
See, they say that crap all the time.
I know, he says it every week.
Like, it's just...
We should have given Shipley the ball more. We should. We didn't get Davis Allen and Jake Brenningstool involved enough. With blah blah blah. We're just the same.
They say the same thing.
Yeah.
Hey, Carolina's tight ends are the X factor, and then beating Clemson too, because we have 3 really good tight ends. So hopefully we can get them.
You know what? You Tatermen are still 10-2. Some of us out here have got real problems. So how about you zip it?
Yeah, but we're not trying to go down to 8-4. Okay, we're trying to go back up to 11-1, 12-0.
It has nothing to do with what our record is. There's no excuse for the talent on that team to be as bad as they look offensively. True Seminole, thank you for the super chat. Key to Georgia Tech is a mistake. You'll see. So, C-Dog, he says Brent Key to Georgia Tech is no bueno.
Yes, he's been terrorizing me all week about it, but I just don't. I mean, what does he know? I mean, he's a Florida State fan. I get it. From the outside, it looks silly that it looks silly from somebody. Oh, they just settled for their interim coach, but
at least he didn't hire the Tulane coach. The dude has a losing record as a Group of 5.
That's what I'm saying. Like, this is a better hire than Tulane, which is a low bar, but.
Yeah,
Brent Key got the most out of the players, and they want to play for him, and it's like. You just don't get it. Like the way the game planning that he had for him to be able to adapt. We went out and beat Pitt on the road in his first game. We didn't even we had practice like half that week. We didn't even practice that week, and he fixed the punt blocking issue in one game in half a week. He fixed we had 4 punts blocked, never had one the rest of the year. He fixed that, like, he just fixed so many issues, like, right off the bat. In every game that we went into, we had a chance to win if our players executed. And he made personnel changes. He made player changes that made sense. And
it's just like we just said. I mean, he looked better in whatever 4 or 5 weeks than the previous coach did in several years.
Yes, and the shit that he had to deal with. He had his first 2, starting 2 quarterbacks go down, and then Jeff Sims, even after our second quarterback went down, wouldn't come back in. He had to deal with that shit, and still somehow won on the road against the number 13 North Carolina team with our 3rd and 4th string quarterbacks. One of them can run and one of them can pass, and then was competitive against Georgia, the number 1 team. So I really don't want to hear it, Seminoles. He's a good ball coach. I get it, but I mean, you look around and there's tons of teams doing this now. Like, Clemson hired Dabo Swinney. He was an interim. Arkansas hired Sam Pittman. He was a freaking O-line coach. What else?
Sam Pittman was at Georgia. He wasn't at Arkansas.
Shane Beamer was a tight ends coach. It's not always the flashiest hire that is the best, and I'm not saying he's going to win a
Mario was never a coordinator. He was just an O-line coach.
Yep.
Right. So it's like it's like, just because he's a position coach that, I mean, he's shown us something. We're not giving him that just because it was the last resort. I mean, he did great. He did a great job with what he was given.
First option?
The first option was Chadwell, and I gave a speech about it before you guys came on. But
I heard it. Should have gone after that Kansas coach.
It's ridiculous and unacceptable that J-Bat told him that he couldn't bring his entire offense.
Why would they handcuff a prospective coach on his staff?
That's what I'm saying. I think my theory, the only thing that's worth a fuck on our offense is Brent Key. His offensive line is really bad.
Real quick,
wanted Brent Key to stay. Would want Brent Key to be Chadwell's O-line coach, and Chadwell said no. Well, now you've lost the coach altogether, and that was not okay to me. But
that's really
that's kind of weird.
Now Key's our head coach, so I mean, if that's what you wanted, I mean, it would be sad to tell Key goodbye, but if it means like losing the coach, you don't want to do that. So he fumbled on that one for sure.
True Seminole, sir. I don't know what to say.
What?
Yeah. You are obviously the biggest supporter since the ACC show has started.
Did he send another huge super chat?
He sure did. Yeah. He says, "Whatever. Long live the ACC." Yeah.
Well, thank you, True Seminole. Thank you.
We appreciate
We're gonna start playing more, so you're gonna learn to respect Brent Key. Well, we appreciate it big time.
I'm not looking forward to that.
All right. Somehow we ended up back on the Georgia Tech conversation. We had that conversation earlier, but it is 9:05. But let's give a score prediction here before we get off the air. Clemson and North Carolina. I'm going to say, what is the spread? 7.5.
Yeah,
I think. Yeah. I say that North Carolina covers. This game's going to be close. I hope I'm wrong. I hope that Clemson goes out there and just stomps a mud hole in them. But I don't have that feeling anymore from week to week. So give me 30-27.
I don't know about a score prediction, but I'd probably take North Carolina to cover 2. So I'd probably take Clemson to win, though. North Carolina sucks. Sorry.
Ouch.
Give me 31-28 Clemson.
Anybody else?
I mean, we already know what I'm picking. I'll go 35-31 Carolina.
All right, so the Tar Heel man picks North Carolina by 4, 35-31. What say you, Jordan?
I'm going to say 17-14. No, I'm kidding.
That would be something.
Could you imagine?
That would be something. This Carolina comes out and plays ridiculous defense.
Slim, something's going on with your microphone. You're just like, meh, meh, meh. You sound like Charlie Brown's teacher.
Yeah, it's probably fixing to die. You go ahead and drop me out. I'm going to go to bed.
Yeah, I'm about to get off here in a minute anyway. All right, see you later, Slim. Thanks, man.
All right, y'all.
All right.
All right. But no, in all seriousness, score prediction, I'm going to go. I think this is going to be a high scoring game. I'm going to go 41-38 Clemson.
Damn.
41-38.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Man, I hope at 41-38, I might be in a goddamn casket if that happens.
Yes.
Holy hell!
I can't put up that many points. What are you thinking?
I don't think I'll survive that.
I don't know. Something tells me. I don't know. The over. What's the over? The over under is like 60 something.
60
this game.
something.
I think it's gonna go over.
Yeah.
Carolina puts up 38 points. We win.
I'll go 31-28 Clemson.
31-28 Clemson. So we all have Clemson winning a fairly close game. Well, Slim picked a pretty convincing win. And of course,
I do
Luke.
not have Clemson winning. Don't.
I say we all. I was about to say except for the Tar Heel man, Luke.
Against his better judgment, he's picking his Tar Heels.
Well, in all seriousness, I really hope. I just hope it's a good game, and there's no injuries or anything. Nothing crazy happens. And
there's already injuries.
I'm talking about during the game. I know there's injuries before it.
So we had 7 starters on defense out, but the backups look better than the starters against NC State.
The backups look better than the starters. Well, that's fucked up.
It's a bunch of freshmen, so they're all more talented than the guys that were on the field.
Oh, okay. So they're the highly recruited guys. Yeah, I got you.
Yeah.
I got you. All right. All right. Well, gentlemen, good luck to everybody. Unless you're a Clemson Tiger this weekend, I don't care who else wins anything as long as Clemson beats North Carolina.
Yeah, good luck to everybody unless you're a Clemson Tiger, just like Peete said.
You're right.
Yeah,
yes. Thank you.
Yeah, you screwed that up.
Yeah. Good.
All right. See you later, Luke. Have fun losing Saturday, my friend. You're used to it. Tiger Paw Craven, thank you, Tater Man.
Yes, sir. See you next time.
See you later. Jordan Bowman, you are a gentleman and a scholar, my friend.
Much appreciated.
All right, all right. I'm sure I'll talk to you very soon. See you later, Jordan.
Later, man.
All right. See, dog, we did it. Barely.
Hell yeah.
I don't even know if it...
I'm laying in bed, so...
Oh, so you're... Okay, that's fine.
Yeah, I guess I could flip it on. Hello.
It's all good. I'm about to get off anyway. Thanks, everybody who showed up in the chat. Had man, the chat was... What did the kids say these days? Liddy? Chat, it was Liddy.
It was popping.
Yeah, the chat was popping today. Lots of people contributed. Thanks to all the people on the panel. Thanks to all the commenters. Of course, thanks to True Seminole and all the other people. Several people sent in super chats. You guys keep the show going year round, and we appreciate you for it. I will be back tomorrow morning at 11 a.m. for the midday show. And Sea-Dog is going to be laying in bed, sucking on a bottle of NyQuil.
I took about twice the recommended dosage of that shit a minute ago. So
Yeah, you'll be asleep in about 10 minutes.
Hopefully.
Yeah. All right. All right, everybody. We appreciate you. We'll see you next time. Have a good night.